Hello, Gatemen fans, and welcome into another installment of Cape Cod League Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham, atop the Western Division, is hosting the East Division leaders Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox today, coming off a big win at Hyannis last night. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. Henrique, what more can we say about that offensive output last night for the Gatemen?
I mean, it's tough to say much more. A lot of hits, a lot of base runners, also just a lot of taking advantage of mistakes, right? I mean, Hyannis gave Wareham a ton of runs, a lot of unearned runs as well. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, even if you take away the unearned runs, even if you take away the mistakes, even if you take away all the things that Hyannis did poorly, the positives for Wareham strongly outweighed them. Look at the earned runs given up by Hyannis, 13 earned runs still, instead of instead of the full 17. But they took advantage of a lot of opportunities, a lot of defensive miscues from Hyannis. It was good to see a lot of pop in the bats of Peyton Parks, who was 0 for 4 in his first game, but then had a home run in yesterday's game. In Game 2 of his Cape League career, also notched a couple hits. But also Bryant Packard. I mean, we got to talk about that home run. That was an absolute moonshot of a home run that he hit, and it's good to see kind of answering the question of that was the whole thing. I got grief from my friends who work for Katuitt, other people around the Cape, my buddy who works for Bourne, saying, "Man, you guys are gonna be bad once Andrew Vaughn leaves, huh?" That's just not true. This lineup is very deep, and this lineup can hit for power. Yes, Andrew Vaughn left leading the Cape or at least tied for the Cape League lead in home runs and RBIs. Yeah, it's a big power stick to lose, but Lyle Lockhart seems to have found his stroke. Bryant Packard, along with hitting for average, is hitting for power now. Isaac Collins in the lineup was good. He provided a little more depth. And yeah, I mean, I'm not worried going forward. The Gatemen have played really well in their last 6 games, have won 4 out of their last 6 against really good opponents. And YD, they're no slouches either. Split a doubleheader with them on Sunday. But it's going to take a lot to beat this team. I doubt we'll get 17 runs again, but I think the offense is up to the task.
And you mentioned that tough schedule the Gatemen have had. They had the doubleheader against YD last Sunday, who now sits atop the Eastern Division, and then facing a couple of foes, Hyannis 3 times, which is switched between first and second in that span, with the Gatemen atop the West Division. And so it's been a grueling schedule for Wareham this week, but have come out on top now, a 3-point lead in the Western Division. Cade Cavalli is just starting his warm-up tosses now. He will get the start for the Gatemen today. It's just his second start of the year. He started the front end of the doubleheader for his debut against YD last Sunday. And for him in that game, he went 3 innings, didn't allow a run on only 2 hits, but walked 4 as well as striking out 4. Got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 3rd inning with only 1 out, and that's how his night ended. So with the 1 relief appearance in which he gave up 2 earned runs in an inning and the start, that brings his ERA down to 4.50 coming into today. Faced a pretty good Hyannis lineup that is pretty hot right now. They have won 7 of their last 10 and have a tie in there, so 7-2-1 in the last 10 games for the Red Sox have propelled them to the top of that Eastern Division, taking it over from Harwich last night. Also, the Red Sox coming off a victory like the Gatemen, 4-1 last night over the Katuitt Kettleers. Of course, the Gatemen with the 17-4 throttling. Oh, Bryant Packard out there in left field right now. We were just talking about him as one of the most dangerous hitters, not only in this Gatemen lineup, but in the league, so he is a late scratch from the lineup tonight. Austin Shenton will be out playing third base. Lyle Lockhart still at first. Zahid Valenzuela at second. Ryan Kreidler at short. Skylar Hunter in center field. Isaac Collins is the new addition to the lineup. He's out in right field. And Jeremy Idens will move from right field to left. And Drew Millis is doing the catching for Cade Cavalli.
Really excited to see Drew Millis behind the plate. He's been in and out of the lineup as Michael Amditis has finally left, leading to just a 2-man rotation behind the plate. Luke Rossum got the start yesterday, moved to first base as Drew Millis got a little more opportunities there. But Millis has started to impress me. He's hit the ball hard his last couple at-bats. He's good defensively, but offensively I'm really excited to see what he can produce, and now batting in the cleanup spot too, so that should be interesting as well.
And it'll be a tough day for him with all that equipment on, as we stand right about 90 degrees here in Wareham, Massachusetts. Feels a lot like Waco, Texas today, with the sun bearing down on this 5:30 game. And the first pitch is going to be swung on by David Hamilton, who plays his college baseball about 90 miles down I-35 at the University of Texas. And getting the better of the Red River start to the game is Oklahoma. Cade Cavalli gets him to Fly out on the first pitch, and there's 1 pitch and 1 out for Cavalli in the first inning.
We'll see if the rest of the hitters are a little more patient in this lineup. Noah Campbell now the batter. See if he can set something up for Andrew Dashbach of Stanford, who's been hot all year. Another 3-for-3 day for him yesterday.
First pitch to him is also going to be swung on, and this one's going to be fouled off. So he's behind in the count. 0-1 is Campbell. Had the RBI single just a day ago. He's hitting a nice 355 on the year for YD. Next offering to him is going to catch the top of the strike zone. Campbell doesn't like the call, but Cavalli quickly gets ahead of him. 0-2 with 1 out and the base is empty. Cavalli's looking. Here's the 0-2 home. Going to be bounced foul by Campbell, so he stands in there at 0-2. Campbell for the South Carolina Gamecocks this year, just 270. But hit 3 triples as well as 3 homers and a 372 on base percentage in the SEC. 0-2 once again. This one going to run inside about bell tie to Campbell. And he's unable to get Campbell to chase on it, so Cavalli puts a ball on him, 1-2. Andrew Dashbach waits on deck, the first baseman today for the Red Sox. This one going to bounce well in front of the plate. No fishing from Noah Campbell. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Much more patient at bat this time around for
Established
Campbell.
In 1870.
Designated hitter from South Carolina, like you were saying, Cam.
Established in
1877. Going here in the top of the first for the first place YD Red Sox.
TM Right.
The Gateway
2-2
Tavern
is going to be
located
bounced on the ground. A high hop over to Sahib
Established in
Valenzuela at second,
1877.
and he will throw on to first for a quick
Established
2
in
up, 2 down
1877,
in front of
TM
Dashbach
Riders,
here in the
family-run
first inning
insurance
for
agency
Cavalli.
located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they
Dashbach comes in with a 378 average on the year, the first baseman from Stanford. 3 homers, 8 RBI, 6 doubles for him. The power has certainly been there for he and the YD Red Sox. So I'm going to run up outside to him. 1-0 is the count. For Cavalli this year, mostly a position player at Oklahoma, but did get some appearances, actually made 2 starts for the Sooners in his 10 appearances, and had a 7.80 ERA in his 15 innings pitched. This one just missing off the outside corner, and Dashbach holding up. So that puts the count in his favor, 2 balls and no strikes.
Dashbach also a pretty free swinger. 14 strikeouts, second most on this team, right behind third baseman Nick Quintana.
Has a count to swing on here, but will lay off as this pitch runs outside from Cavalli. And now it's 3 balls, no strikes to the YD first baseman. 3-0, he's swinging and he's popping it up down to left field. That is Jeremy Idens out there, and will call off the shortstop Kreidler and makes the catch that ends the inning. 3 up and 3 down, a good start for Cade Cavalli. Gatemen coming up for their first at-bats here right after these messages.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right.
Back here for the bottom of the first inning. Cade Cavalli sets down the Red Sox 1-2-3, and that paves the way for the Michigan Wolverine left-hander Tommy Henry to make his second start of the year for the Red Sox. And like Cavalli, that start came in last weekend's doubleheader at Red Wilson Field against the Gatemen. And that game was pretty good. He went 4 innings, only gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits, and struck out 3 of the 15 batters he faced. Kept the Red Sox in the game. That 1-0 Gateman lead became a 4-0 Gateman lead. And then they were unable to, it was a 2-0 Gateman lead, then 4 by the Red Sox in the 6th inning out of the 7-inning doubleheader. And it was a 4-3 final, the Gatemen splitting the doubleheader in devastating fashion. We'll start things off with Jeremy Idens, who just minutes before the game was moved from right field to left field with Bryant Packard, the very late scratch. Moves Drew Millis up to the cleanup spot in the order for the Gatemen today, which was Packard's, and Isaac Collins down to what was Drew Millis' number 8 spot. First pitch is cut on and missed by Idens. He was one of the 3 strikeout victims for Henry last Sunday in Yarmouth. Here's the 0-1 to him. Going to run outside for a ball. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, a bit odd that we see a late scratch. We haven't seen that this year. Packard, I guess, just after a spectacular day at the plate yesterday, getting the day off.
All right, he's going to take this pitch down low and go ahead of the count 2-1. Idens has bounced that average back up after a bit of a struggle earlier in the week. He's bumped it back up to 326 on his Cape League season. Takes a mighty cut and a miss and a pitch out of the strike zone. That evens the count at 2-2. Two home to Idens, going to drop down low, and the count will run full.
Idens, I think part of the reason he has been less prone to the strikeouts is he's taken a little more patient at-bats. Saw him be a little more of a free swinger and going back to what he does best, what he did best in his first few games on the Cape.
Here's the full count offering. It's going to miss down low, and Idens is going to work it back to a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the first inning. Leadoff man is on for the Gatemen.
Worked it back from an 0-1, then a 2-2 count. Idens not your prototypical base-stealing threat, but he's playing in the outfield for a reason, does have some speed. Zahid Valenzuela, a guy who bats from both sides of the plate, also has some speed. Middle infield ready for YD for that double play. David Hamilton and Christian Koss at short and second, respectively, for the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox.
So Valenzuela steps in with a man on first and nobody out. First offering to him is a changeup that's cut on and missed for strike 1. And it's Daschbach holding on Idens at first, Christian Koss at second base, David Hamilton at short, Nick Quintana over at third for YD. Then left to right in the outfield, Quinn Cotton, Johnny DeLuca, and Reese Albert. And Vito Frischia doing the catching for Tommy Henry. 0-1 is going to drop through the strike zone, but drop down low of it, so that's ball 1. Things now stand at a ball and a strike to Valenzuela. Because of that runner being held on at first and the double play depth up the middle like Enrique talked about, there's a huge hole between first and second. A lazy throw back and getting back in there safely is Idens.
With this heat, it just kind of feels like a lazy kind of day. I'm sweating bullets, and we're not even through 1 inning.
It's a little musty up here, to say the least. And it's even hotter down on the field where these guys are playing right now. As that pitch misses inside and low to Valenzuela. Puts him ahead of the count 2-1. It's going to be another couple of hot ones the next few days going into the 4th of July holiday. Nothing getting down below the 80s for highs. So it's time to start getting used to it, I guess. 2-1. It's going to be fisted towards shortstop. It's going to hang up in the air. And David Hamilton has enough time to get over there from that double play depth. and make the catch that keeps Idens at first and puts a out for Tommy Henry on the scoreboard.
Yeah, not the best swing on that one from Zahid Valenzuela. 2-1 pitch. I think fisted it, like you said, is the best word for it, and it hung up there, like you also said, Cam, and gave Hamilton enough time to run over there. Tommy Henry, that's what he does. He induces weak contact, not particularly a power pitcher, but has about a strikeout an inning clip, both at Michigan and here on the Cape so far.
First pitch is going to miss up high to Austin Shenton, who is back at third base today. We've seen him split some time between third base and designated hitter. He was the DH last night for the Gatemen. And still above 400, a 407 average on the year. Throw over, not even a slide in there from Idens. As he's well aware that gravel in the infield has been absorbing the sun all day. So if there's no slide needed, I don't think we're going to see many today.
Yeah, I can't say I blame anyone.
1-0, going to miss down low and away to Shenton. Puts him ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Especially head first. I mean, it's not advisable to slide head first on this stone dust anyway, but you don't want to scrape up your arms, and the ground temperature is probably close to 100 degrees, like you said, and just the black surface soaking up all that heat. A little nasty out there.
Shenton going to take this one just on the outside corner. He's a little hesitant to agree with the call, but that puts one back for Henry and makes the count 2-1. Still a big hole over there between first and second. With one out, the infielders in the middle are still in double play depth. 2-1. Going to be swung on and fouled off to the left and out of play. Henry runs it from 2-0 now to 2-2. Shenton not only with that 407 average, but also the 492 OBP clip this year. To say he has found ways on base is an understatement. He has just kept that line moving. It's been over 400 in that average for over 2 weeks now. It's tough to do, but he has done it for the Gatemen so far this year. And now we'll take the 2-2 on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Looked like a pretty good pitch from Tommy Henry, and it's the one that rings up Shenton for the second out of the inning.
You know, it's good enough to where you can't take that with 2 strikes. I mean, was that the best pitch to hit? No, but that's low. Worst case scenario, you can chip it foul, put something on the just put something on the ground in the infield, find a gap. Like you said, the middle infield was pinched, now not with 2 down. But the gaps between third and short and first and second were a little bigger than usual. Try to put the ball in play.
So Drew Millis, a guy you expect a lot from, is now at the plate, but we're going to have a pickoff throw, and going with it was Jeremy Idens down to second, and the ball was dropped by Daschbach, who was maybe a little too focused on throwing it to second before he even caught the ball, and because of that, Jeremy Idens going to get in scoring position with 2 outs.
It's like they tell you in Little League, ball first. Daschbach's got to secure that one. They probably would have had Idens dead to rights at second, but credit Idens too. Went with his gut, and he stuck with it. He didn't hesitate.
So Millis moves up to the cleanup spot today with the late scratching of Bryant Packard. Goes down to a knee and is unable to connect with this one. He's down 0-1. Do you see this as a vote of confidence here for Coach Don Snedden to put him in such a prime RBI position today?
I think so. I think Millis, like I said, he started to hit the ball a little better. He hasn't gotten consistent playing time just because he's one of only 2 catchers on this team. But I think it's a big opportunity for him to prove himself.
Same pitch and same result it looked like there as Millis. Another feeble swing, and he is down 0-2 very quickly. This guy with power numbers at Missouri State, 7 homers and 61 RBI on the year. So a even 500 slugging percentage. So you got to imagine it's going to come at some point this year for him and the Gatemen. 0-2 is a waste pitch that misses outside, and able to lay off it is Millis. Count now stands at a ball and a strike. It's just a 241 clip on the year and no RBI for Millis. So looking for that elusive first one. He's got a guy in scoring position and 2 outs and 2 strikes on him. Gonna take this one down low again. Low and away that time to Millis. So he has battled back in this at bat. From 0-2 to 2-2.
You got Millis to swing right through 2 low breaking balls. 2 really good pitches, ugly swings from Millis, so try to locate that one a little further off, but Millis is ready to swing at it.
2-2 is going to be bounced in the hole at short. It's going to be a tough play for Hamilton, and it's going to be no play as it's an initial bobble, and he tries to go over to third base. A little wishful thinking and try and get Jeremy Idens, but Idens is in there. Millis is at first, and the Gatemen keep the inning alive with 2 outs in front of Lyle Lockhart.
That was, I think, a questionable decision there by Hamilton. I mean, that's a throw you make if that ball's hit sharply to you. You don't have to. It took him to the right side, so he went with where his momentum was going. But after a bobble, I mean, Idens was at second. He had a hard secondary lead. He was halfway to second and third by the time the ball was hit. After a bobble, you either eat it or go to first with it. Millis not the fleetest of foot. I think he might have had a shot at him, but now, with extra life here, the Gatemen have runners at the corners for Lyle Lockhart.
It's Lockhart, the switch hitter, who will bat right against the left-hand Henry. We'll take the first pitch on the outside corner. A good frame job, if anything, from Vito Frischia. And that puts the count at 0-1 to the first baseman today from the University of Houston. Certainly used to this kind of weather the Gatemen are playing in today. Hot, humid, as Millis will dive back in there a little awkwardly on the pickoff attempt. He's back in there safely. It's a nice day for Lockhart, as it was for most of the Gatemen offensively. He reached base 5 times, a couple of hits, a hit by pitch, and a couple of walks. 0-1 is going to be bounced foul. And much like Drew Millis before him, he is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes to Henry.
Already 2 errors for the YD Red Sox. Excuse me. The pickoff attempt that moved Idens up to second. Chalk that up to an error to Andrew Dashbach. And then an E6 will go in the book for Drew Millis. Runners at the corners. Gatemen capitalized on Hyannis errors yesterday. See what they can do against YD.
Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs. That one's going to be spoiled. Off to the right and out of play. And you said it, Henrique. They were really able to capitalize on some very sloppy defensive performances by the Hyannis Harbor Hawks last night. In that 9-run inning, there was 3 errors made by Hyannis, so Gatemen used those wisely. We were able to send 13 men to the plate in that inning and bring 9 across. Pickoff throw standing back in there is Millis at first. Runners are at the corners with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. 0-2 is the count to Lyle Lockhart. Look in, here's the 0-2 once again on the outside corner, strike 3. That outside corner has been available to the right-hand hitters, and this time it rings up Lockhart for strike 3, and that's how the first inning will end. No hits for the Gatemen, but they leave 2 aboard. We go to the second inning, scoreless here from Spillane.
Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
Shop from home year-round on Gateman.org. You can customize your Gateman gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gateman.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
We are on for Cade Cavalli's second inning of work. Gatemen left 2 men stranded and were unable to score in the bottom half of the first after Cavalli set down the Red Sox 1-2-3 in his half. So 0-0 is our score from Spillane Field here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. It was a big night for Wareham last night. A 17-4 victory over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who now sit in second place behind the Gatemen in the division. And those 17 runs, as you see on your screen, the most in a game for the Gatemen since 2009.
That's almost 10 years ago. 2009 was almost 10 years ago. Think about that.
Pretty wild. We're getting old, Enrique.
We are getting old.
We're getting up there.
Pretty much everyone on this field is younger than us. Which is also very
sober. Adjustment to make throughout this year for me.
No kidding, yeah.
But we might as well get used to it. The game will get younger, and we will get older. Quinn Cotton will step in from the right side. The left fielder today for the Red Sox out of Grand Canyon will get his first looks at Cade Cavalli. First pitch going to miss up high for ball 1 to Cotton. (1-0) is going to catch that outside corner that Lyle Lockhart was rung up on to end last inning. For a called strike, so 1-1's the count. .298 average for Cotton on the summer. No homers, but 17 RBI, 3 doubles. And this one going to miss up above his helmet as he ducks down. And we'll put him ahead of the count, 2-1. The numbers were off the charts for him this year at Grand Canyon, though. .390, 5 homers, 43 RBI, with 19 doubles, 5 triples, and OPS over 1,000 for Cotton. 2-1's going to run inside again. He brushes out of the way. Because of that, he is ahead of the count, 3-1.
Cavalli not trying to give him anything to hit. I mean, the first, or the 1-1 offering almost hit him. The 2-1 offering up and in. See what he does on 3-1. Miller setting up low and outside.
3-1. Cotton likes it, but will foul it off to the right and out of play. So that's going to run the count full 3-2. The second opportunity for that for Cade Cavalli today against YD hitters. Cavalli comes home with the full count offering. It's going to miss up high to Cotton, who had a .462 OBP on the year for Grand Canyon. Finds his way on base here with a leadoff walk, much like the Gatemen did in their half of the first inning.
13 stolen bases on the year as well at Grand Canyon anyway for Mr. Cotton. So also a force on the base paths. YD though not a big base stealing team.
See if things are on here for Reese Albert, the lefty from Florida State. Stepping in, going to take this pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Throw back is going to be close, and they're going to pick off Quinn Cotton at first base. A really quick move by the righty Cavalli, and he's able to get it over there. And a tough slide on the hot gravel today, and Quinn Cotton will have to trot back to the third base dugout. A defeated man. He is out number 1 here in the second.
That's tough. YD sat down 1-2-3 in the first inning, 2 flats and a ground out. Now Quinn Cotton retired, but Reese Albert, batting in the 5 hole, has been on an absolute tear as of late.
We talked about the defensive woes for the Red Sox. 2 errors already in the first inning defensively. They have the 9th best fielding percentage in the Cape League, and I don't know if you know, Enrique, but there are only 10 teams.
Yeah, so you do a little quick math. That's not too good.
And sitting atop the league are the Gatemen with a .983 percentage. This one's cut on and missed by Albert. He goes down as the first strikeout victim for Cavalli today. And they're all brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Hexafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen.
You mentioned on the pregame show, Cam, the breaking ball for Cade Cavalli and how the control was an issue, but the breaking ball has saved him some. We've seen some of the control issues so far. The walk issue to Quinn Cotton, but also the first pitch strikes being an issue, as we see here, to Johnny DeLuca. But so far, so good. It's been a little shakier than I think Cavalli would like.
And he shakes this one outside and falls behind in the count to DeLuca 2-0, who homered off the Gatemen in the first game of the doubleheader last weekend, the 10-4 Wareham victory. 2-0 to him. He's going to run just a bit inside. Looked like a pretty good pitch, but DeLuca takes it for ball 3, and now he's ahead of the count 3-0.
And Cavalli's found himself in one too many of these really good hitters' counts to YD hitters today.
And this one is going to catch the inside corner. DeLuca was ready to toss that bat back towards the dugout and head down to first base, but instead he stands in there with a 3-1 count. This is his only homer of the year, the one he hit off the Gateman last weekend. 3-1's going to be bounced up the middle, a base hit off one hop. It gets above the glove of Ryan Kreidler at shortstop. And with 2 outs, the Red Sox are able to get a single in the person of Johnny DeLuca. They keep this inning alive ahead of one of the most dangerous hitters in their lineup. Batting all the way down at 7th, Nick Quintana will step up.
And Quintana is struggling a little bit so far. Team leading 15 strikeouts, but has an opportunity here. First base hit of the day for YD. Was 0 for 2 in the 10-4 loss and did not play in Game 2 of the doubleheader last Sunday between these two teams.
He's a second-year Red Sox. He was with the team that finished second in the Eastern Division in 2017 out of the University of Arizona.
That was the year that the three-peat came to an end. YD Red Sox Cape League champions in 2014, 15, and 16, but were shut down by the upstart Brewster Whitecaps, who won it all last year.
This one going to bounce outside. Certainly been a nice little run for the YD Red Sox. As you mentioned, the 3 straight from 2014 to 2016. Just the 3rd Cape League team ever to do that. But the Whitecaps were able to stop them in their tracks last year. They were also bested, were the Red Sox, by the Orleans Firebirds, who were regular season champions of the Eastern Division. Now Cavalli looks in, checks his sign from Drew Millis. Before the 1-2 is made, they'll throw over to check on DeLuca once again. He's back in there safely, being held on by Lockhart. He's the only man on the base paths for the Red Sox right now. Man on first, 2 outs, and 2 strikes to Nick Quintana. This one, another close pickoff play, and diving back head first is DeLuca, this time safely. So remember, they were able to get Cotton earlier in the inning on a very similar move from the right-handed Cade Cavalli. One, 2, going to miss outside. Quintana not chasing at that pitch. So the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the second.
And having a good pickoff move to go back to that, Cam, as a righty is really twofold. One, it's about switching up your timing, but that's common across righties and lefties. But as a righty, you got to have really quick feet and really disciplined feet. So easy to balk if you're trying to spin around and pick over to first. So that one misses inside, run the count full. Because that back foot's got to come off clearly. If you even flinch with that front foot as a righty, you're going to get hosed for a balk by an umpire with a sharp eye.
Something for him to look out for if he keeps putting guys on first base. Trying to end the inning right here, though. The 3-2 offering is going to be popped up and will get out of play behind the press box here at Spillane. And so things will stay at a full count.
Smart base running by Johnny DeLuca, the Oregon Duck, off on the pitch.
And I know Cavalli's a guy from Oklahoma, but we are just in pools of sweat up here. And he is out there with long sleeves. An absolute warrior. He's also wearing the high socks for the first time we've seen him in this year, the blue stirrups. Actually, I think that's the first time we've seen any Gateman in stirrups this year.
Yeah, it is a little weird. I was never a big stirrup guy. Not that I had anything against him. It was just, I don't know, why mess with two-piece socks when you can just put them on one at a time and be done with it. I'm all about aesthetics, but not to that point, I guess.
In fact, I think the only guy we've seen consistently with high socks is a guy who goes back and forth. Ryan Kreidler has done it a few times, but he's stuck with the long pants, got the long pants today. So not something you see with this team too much. Runner, of course, off with the pitch, and the 3-2 is just going to miss up high. Pretty good-looking one for Quintana to take, and he will head down to first with a 2-out walk. So after the pickoff and the strikeout, it's a single from Johnny DeLuca, a walk for Nick Quintana, and there's runners at first and second with 2 out in the frame, ahead of the second baseman, Christian Koss. Koss from UC Irvine with a 270 average on the Cape this year. And his first look at Cavalli today as he hits 8th in the Red Sox order. Will sharply foul this one off to the right and out of play, so he falls behind in the count 0-1.
Koss stepped in the bucket a little bit on that one, which for those of you that don't know means instead of going forward with your front foot, you kind of go backwards. So, I mean, he was just trying to foul that off, wasn't trying to really do anything to it. Got that high outside pitch, tried to protect and foul it off. But the way his foot went didn't help him put anything up the middle either.
0-1's a nice breaking pitch that will find the inside corner for a called strike. And Cavalli ahead of another hitter. He's ahead of the count now, 0-2. Vito Frischia, the catcher, waits on deck. Still with the shin guards on, just in case Cavalli's able to retire Koss here for the 3rd out. That'll have to wait. He steps off, now back on. Here's the 0-2. This one's going to be bounced foul out towards the YD dugout, just waiting on a breaking ball there, and puts just enough bat on it to stay alive with that 0-2 count.
Breaking ball heavy. It was Cavalli. We knew that from the get-go. Tried to be his out pitch there, but he hung it just a little bit high to Nick Quintana. He's gone kind of all over the place with it today.
0-2. He gets a piece of it, but Millis is able to fish it out and make the catch to complete the strikeout. Some appeal by the Red Sox here, but as of right now, it is... Actually, they are going to call him back. They're going to call him back to the plate, say that Millis did not catch it out of the air. It's definitive by the home plate umpire. They roll down to the first base umpire, and he saves the life for now for Christian Koss. He will be back in there. See Drew Millis share a laugh over it.
Yeah, not too much argument from Millis. You could tell that was the right call. Millis did a good job of selling it. Absolutely. Sometimes that's all it takes, but that one definitively hit the ground. So 0-2 again. Cavalli still very much in the driver's seat.
No replay or VAR here in the Cape League. Both runners off on the 0-2, but it's going to be bounced to Sahid Valenzuela, and he will make a routine play over to first base. That ends the inning. So the Gatemen stranded 2 in their half of the first inning. Cade Cavalli bounces back and makes the Red Sox strand 2. And we've got our sideline reporter, Mary Orders, standing by with John Martellini. She's going to have her interview with him in just a moment. 0-0 still our score as we have played an inning and a half here from Spillane Field.
All right, 3.
We're going to send it down to Mary Orders right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Gianna, it was your first outing for the Gatemen yesterday for the first time in a few weeks. How did you feel out there?
It was definitely a little bit of an adjustment. Not being able to see live pitching for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks is definitely something to get used to, but it was definitely good to get back out there.
And what were some things you had to focus on to make that adjustment smoothly?
Just stay solid behind the plate, work with the pitchers, because I'm not used to this pitching staff, so getting used to how their ball moves and stuff like that, and just trying to put good swings on the ball.
And it's very hot out here today. How does that affect you guys and your game?
Definitely have to stay hydrated. I'm not playing today, so the guys that are out there definitely have to stay hydrated, but even being on the bench trying to stay cool somehow, but it's definitely a hot one.
You had some Pedialyte, right?
Yeah, definitely had some Pedialyte. Trainers hooked us up.
Thanks so much, Gian.
Thank you for that, Mary. She's checking in with Gian Martellini there, a guy reinstated on the team for the Gatemen a couple of days ago out of Boston College. Still 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The Gatemen threatened in the first, but were unable to get a run across as they left 2 aboard, runners at the corners on the Lyle Lockhart strikeout. So because of that, it'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up in the Wareham order. Paven Parks, left-handed hitting designated hitter, will get things started. He's been hitting the ball harder as of late and culminated it last night in his first home run on the Cape. This one going to run inside to him for ball 1, 1-0. Parks in his short stint on the Cape from Kent State, hitting .273 for the Gatemen. 1-0 going to bounce to the plate on the outside corner. Count now runs in his favor. 2 balls and no strikes.
With that offensive barrage yesterday, Gatemen first team to 100 runs on the season on the Cape with 2 home runs, only behind the Chatham Angles in terms of total home runs. They got 15 on the year.
Parks going to foul this one off to the left and out of play. That puts the count now at 2-1. Parks a 24th round selection in this year's MLB drafts, picked by the San Diego Padres. He's trying to fill in some of those power numbers that were left in the void of Andrew Vaughn's absence. This one's going to be grounded between first and second. It's Dashbach on the backhand and will make a tough flip over to Tommy Henry. That's going to be a 3-1 putout, and Parks first man up and first man retired here in the second inning. Going to leave things for Ryan Kreidler. The base is empty and 1 out. Now Frischia will make sure he's on the same page with Henry before the Wareham shortstop steps up to the plate. Kreidler's average has dipped down to .240 after a hot start for him. Big, tall, almost Cal Ripken build at shortstop, not something you see very often. A tall shortstop like that, although it's becoming more common in the major leagues. Guys like Carlos Correa mainly.
Even Bryson Stott for the Gatemen sat at a lanky 6'2", but used that to his advantage.
Here's the 1-0 to him. He's going to catch the bottom of the strike zone for a called strike. 1-1 is now the count. No homers for Kreidler on the year in the summer, but 6 RBI. 3 of them coming in his Cape League debut. And that 9-0 win over Hyannis almost 2 weeks ago. Here's the 1-1 to him. Going to miss down low on the breaking ball from Henry, so Kreidler runs ahead of the count 2-1. A guy who struggled this year for UCLA. Just a .222 batting average for the Bruins on the year, but earned himself an invite to the Gatemen in 2018. This pitch going to miss down low once again, so he's further ahead of the count. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I mean, he's got raw talent that clearly is just not showing up in the numbers. Got an invite to the Northwoods League last year. Played out in the North Division up there. I saw him quite a few times. Terrorized my Duluth Huskies on a consistent basis.
This one's going to be a high hop to Nick Quintana at third, but he'll come in on it and retire Kreidler for out number 2 in the second inning.
Here comes a guy who played for my Duluth Huskies last year, Isaac Collins. A surprise start in today's lineup, and I guess not really a surprise start in yesterday's lineup. What was surprising was he was slotted into right field, but he didn't have a single ball hit to him all day yesterday, which is very surprising given that there were 29 total hits scattered between the 2 teams yesterday.
God, Enrique, that's a Little League flashback for me.
Yeah.
Stick you out there in right field so nothing comes to you.
I would say I don't know what you're talking about, but that's just wildly untrue. My outfielding days before high school were a lot in right field. I was not a good fielder.
Isaac Collins going to take this one on the corner. He's behind in the count, 0-2. He says he was expecting that start in right field in our post-game interview yesterday. And I'm sure for him, any way you can get into the lineup, it's a couple of guys battling for that second base position. And with Zahid Valenzuela playing so well, both offensively and defensively, Collins, I'm sure, thinking, could play right field.
Yeah,
Stick me in there.
Yeah, he played a little bit of right field last summer in Duluth. But Collins' strength is his bat and his ability to get on base. Work counts really well. He's a good contact bat.
And he's not going to be able to make contact here. He goes down on 3 pitches. He's the strikeout victim, and that's how the second inning will end. Gatemen go down 1-2-3. Still 0-0 here from Spillane Field on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top.
Back here for the top of the 3rd inning, Cade Cavalli out here for his 3rd inning of work. And he's not allowed to run a run to come across. He's only allowed 3 base runners, a hit and 2 walks. And one of those, of course, eliminated on the pickoff. That was Quinn Cotton, who was picked off at first base. It'll be 9-1-2 expected in the YD lineup here in the 3rd, starting with Vito Frischia. As you see our Cape League standings up there right now, your Gatemen at 12-6 atop the West Division, and YD has propelled themselves after a good week into first place in the East Division. Or, as I mentioned earlier, 7-2-1 in their last 10, gives them a 9-6-2 record. So a real bounce back has put them atop the East. So a battle for Cape League supremacy today. That's been nothing foreign to the Gatemen this week. Facing YD is, of course, twice on Sunday, and 3 battles with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who have been seesawing with the Gatemen for first place in the West Division. Vito Frischia, the catcher, will be the first man up. Big right-hander, going to take a strike from the Gatemen right-hander, Cade Cavalli, who is now at 8 walks given up on the year and only 7 strikeouts, so that number continues to go up for him. So we're going to bounce outside, so the count evens at a ball and a strike. Frischia from Hofstra hit .353 for the Flying Dutchman on the year, as he's going to foul this one off to the right and out of plays, behind in the count 1-2.
Frischia built like a house here in the 9-hole, but it's always encouraging when you see a guy like that hit for average as well as power.
Also had 7 homers and 31 RBI on the year. Out on Long Island, he's going to take this one up high and even the count at 2-2. So certainly a guy who was able to do it all for Hofstra this year. Gets him an invite to the YD Red Sox. Very defensive on that swing. Not a bad pitch from Cavalli. A little bit elevated, but in the strike zone, and Frischia able to foul it off straight back and keep things at 2 balls and 2 strikes to lead off the 3rd inning.
First time these 2 teams played in the 10-4 victory for Wareham. He subbed in for Matthew Dyer of Arizona behind the dish, went 0-2.
He's going to start his day 0-1 right now as he's handcuffed on that pitch low and in. Cavalli's going to even up the strikeout total with the walk total on the year. And all of those this year have been brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. So the second victim of the K today is Vito Frischia. Now back to the top of the order, David Hamilton. who squared around to bunt, but this pitch is in the zone for a called strike one. It was a first pitch swinging at bat from Hamilton in the first. This time he waits for the second pitch and will ground it to Lyle Lockhart on a wicked one-hopper. But the lefty is able to get his glove on it and take it to first base himself. So Hamilton has only seen 3 pitches today, and he's 0 for 2 after the 3 unassisted. And now Noah Campbell, designated hitter, will stand in with 2 outs and nobody on base.
In the second inning, looking like a little bit of a blip here for Cavalli as he's bounced back really nicely. There's a tougher part of the order that he had to muscle through in that second inning. But David Hamilton, no slouch either. Noah Campbell just 0 for 4 in his debut.
(1-0) home. It's going to be grounded foul.
Think that hit his foot?
It must have, as he's certainly selling it, now starting to shake that right foot.
And I misspoke earlier as David Hamilton 0 for 4 in his debut. Campbell's been with the team a little over a week. He's had success. But Hamilton at the top of the order 0 for 6 in his first 6 Cape League at-bats.
Cavalli looks in. Here's the 1-1 with 2 out in the inning. So we're going to run well inside to Campbell. We'll put the South Carolina Gamecock ahead of the count 2-1. And now this one's going to run up high. 3 balls and a strike is now the count to Campbell. So Cavalli trying to make this a 1-2-3 third. He did that in the first inning, but in danger of walking his 3rd man of the game. 3-1. It's going to be bounced foul off himself again, this time up by the thigh for Campbell. Painful nonetheless. He slams his bat down. Will now make the count 3-2 with a couple of painful foul balls. Bit of a sparse crowd here at Spillane today with the temperatures up in the 90s, weekend before the 4th of July. A very happy Canada Day to all of those listening north of the border. This one's cut on and missed. It's another strikeout for Cade Cavalli, of course brought to you by the law offices of Lang, X, Forrest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. We're going to send it off to a quick break, and then we'll have our first look around the Cape League here between the top of the 3rd and the bottom of the 3rd here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
And welcome for your first look around the Cape. I'm Ian Vicero with your Cape League update. A lot of low-scoring games in action today. First one, we have the Chatham Anglers against the Cotuit Kettleers. Cotuit leads that ball game 3-0 in the top of the 6th. Jonathan Robertson with 2 RBI in that game. Over in Harwich, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lead 1-0 over the Mariners in the bottom of the 3rd. Over in Orleans, Bourne is tied with the Firebirds 0-0 in the top of the 4th. And over in Falmouth, we have a 1-0 ball game as the Commodores are ahead of the Brewster Whitecaps 1-0 in the top of the 4th. That's the Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ian, for that. Our beat writer, Ian Vicera, double duty here for a home game, giving us our look around the Cape League. This one a low-scoring one as well, obviously. Scoreless here from Wareham. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, Skylar Hunter will get his first at-bat of the day, the number 9 man, patrolling center field. Switch hitter will bat right. Hunter was inserted late in the game last night and was able to rip an opposite field double. Certainly a good sign for Skylar Hunter, who's really trying to get that average up. It stands at just 140, the man from Purdue. See if he can build on that today as the first pitch is going to run up high. He takes it for ball 1.
Now, Skylar Hunter, like you mentioned, a switch hitter, hit just above 300 at Purdue. First team All Big Ten tournament team, as his Boilermakers went on to win the Big Ten tournament this year.
Take that one on the outside corner. He really didn't agree with that call.
But that outside corner to right-handed hitters, it has been called all day. So, I mean, it is a little bit of an expanded strike zone. But second time around, you got to learn from that. It is what it is. You got to adjust.
It has been there for both teams as well. So definitely adjustments have to be made, like you said. This one is a breaking pitch that's a little too far off the outside corner. So it'll run the count to 2-1 in Hunter's favor. Big hole up the middle for the righty. This one going to miss down low, so Hunter maybe thinks he should be on with a walk, but even with that one called strike, he's still ahead of the count 3-1.
And Hunter, like you'd mentioned, was able to rip an opposite field double in that pinch hit appearance, which is really encouraging because that's just kind of how he's done things this year. He has a clutch gene. He fouls that one straight back. But on a consistent basis, I mean, his defensive mettle, which is very, very good. We know that. We've seen him make highlight reel plays left and right in center field pretty much all year, but that's not enough to keep him in the lineup. You know, the adage goes, if you hit, they'll find a place for you in the lineup. It doesn't go, if you make great plays in the field, they'll find a place for you in the lineup. If you hit a $140, your time in the lineup is going to be limited.
And that average, unfortunately for Hunter, is going to go down. An elevated fastball gets him to cut and miss. And he is the first out of the third inning. The fourth strikeout victim for Tommy Henry. Not something he's known for. Only struck out 3 in his 4 innings of work last weekend against the Gatemen.
Yeah, he himself not as much as Iden steps in, but YD pitching staff as a whole more strikeouts than anyone in the Cape League, 161 through 17 games. Do some quick math. That's 8 or 9 strikeouts a game. That's really impressive.
Jeremy Idens will step to the plate now. 1 out, nobody aboard. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Took 4 of those his first time to the plate. 0 for 0, but with a walk to get things started for the Gatemen back in the first. Going to clip the outside corner. And will be a called strike, 1-1. One going to miss a bit inside, just below the knees of Idens. The count now goes 2-1 in his favor. Gatemen in the all-white home uniforms today, with Gatemen across the chest in the Wareham maroon. Red Sox countering with white pants, but a crisp-looking red top with blue letters, and the red hat with the script socks in the Massachusetts outline. 2-2 is now the count to Idens. Saw a bit of a rarity for YD last week in that doubleheader. They were actually able to switch uniforms in between games. Got to be one of the only teams in the league with 2 white uniforms.
Well, that's YD. They got a lot of resources up there in Yarmouth-Dennis, one of the more storied franchises here on the Cape.
This one is going to miss down low for a ball, 2-2. They're one of the teams who didn't have to abandon their team nickname back a couple years ago. The major leagues cutting down on that. Orleans Cardinals became the Firebirds. Hyannis Mets became the Harbor Hawks. But the Red Sox were able to keep theirs. Harwich Mariners were able to keep theirs. As
they were the
Braves.
Mariners before the actual Mariners existed, which certainly helped things.
Exactly. This one just going to miss. Pretty good looking pitch. Idens will take it on 3-2 and will trot down to first base with a 1-out walk. So that's the second time he's done that today. There's a man at first ahead of Sahid Valenzuela. Of course, the Braves got to keep theirs because they didn't use the same logo the Atlanta Braves did. But a big hurt for some of those teams, especially the Mets. They used to get handed down jerseys and uniforms from the New York Mets. But of course, no longer, as they've had to change to the Harbor Hawks. This one going to be on the outside corner for a called strike to Valenzuela, 0-1. But actually at McKeon Park in Hyannis, next to the home team dugout, there's still a plaque engraved for the Hyannis Mets, so they're not trying to give up on that tradition altogether. 0-1, not going to be made just yet. Pickoff throw over, and walking back into first base is Idens. There's a couple guys starting to get loose down in the Wareham bullpen. No one up for the Red Sox just yet. 0-0 our score. 0-1 to Valenzuela. He's going to catch the inside corner for a called strike 2. Valenzuela quickly finding himself in the hole here with Idens at first and one man out in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Idens with a 1-for-4 day yesterday did score a run, singled in that 17-3 win as well. But a stolen base also was a distraction on the base paths for YD pitchers. He made himself useful on the base paths.
0-2, Idens is going and reaching out on a hit and run play as Valenzuela, and he is going to drop this ball perfectly down the 3rd baseline. Nothing you can do about that. Credit the grounds crew for a hit for Sahid Valenzuela as he will get down to first base. Runners now at first and second ahead of Austin Shenton with one out here in the 3rd.
Yeah, like you said, Cam, not much you can do about that. And Sahid Valenzuela executing the hit and run to perfection. Idens obviously would have been safe there at second. Austin Shenton would have been set up with, bases or runner on second, 2 down, but double play still in play here. But Sahid Valenzuela with an infield single. Like you said, just well-groomed grass. If you put the ball in play, good things are going to happen.
Now Shenton stands in with a chance to add to the 11 RBI he's already produced this year. And he's got a chance on this one. He's going to dunk it into left field for a base hit. On one hop, it'll get down, and coming around to score standing up is Jeremy Idens. And Austin Shenton delivers again. An opposite field single gives the Gatemen a 1-0 lead here in the 3rd inning.
Shenton aggressive this time around, did not like going down looking his first time for the second out of the inning in the 1st, so decided to jump on a fastball he liked, and he's been a little more aggressive at the plate. He can put together good at-bats when he wants them, but we talked to Andrew Vaughn a little bit, and he described his approach as being a fastball hunter. Obviously, Andrew Vaughn, a lot of guys aspire to be him, I imagine. Well, first sophomore in a while to win the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in college baseball, the Golden Spikes Award. But Austin Shenton, fastball hunter, got one there and hit the way it was pitched. Good piece of hitting there from the 3-hole hitter for Wareham.
Millis looks to keep it moving, but he's going to ground it to short. They go on to second for one and on to first for an inning-ending double play. But Austin Shenton comes through once again and puts the Gatemen on top here in the 3rd inning as we head to the 4th. It's 1-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Get Gateman gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gateman apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Back here for the 4th inning. It's still the Oklahoma Sooner Cade Cavalli, but no longer a scoreless tie as Austin Shenton delivers the RBI single that gives the Gatemen the lead as we head into the 4th. 1-0 the score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. Gatemen looking to make it 3 in a row on the weekend after the off day. Actually 4 if you count that off day, the game before it actually. Trying to extend the lead in the Western Division as they take on the leaders from the East, the YD Red Sox. It's a tough part of the order coming up for YD. It'll be 3, 4, and 5. Andrew Doshbach will get things started. But for Cavalli, it's been pretty good work so far. Has only allowed 1 hit, a couple of walks, but has also struck out 2.
Doesn't Water Whiz sound appealing right now?
Sure does.
My goodness.
Just heard that over the PA. as we go up into the 90s today. Feels about in the mid-90s outside in our press box here.
Nicer.
I'd go about 90 Celsius here.
Yeah, it's nasty. This is first couple days here where you say, "Oh, right, this is summer in Cape Cod." And those, those mid-60 days were nice. The bugs were out in full force, but I mean, this heat, it just soaks you up, and the humidity doesn't help things either. I'm from Southern California. I'm not used to this.
The first pitch to Daschbach is going to miss for ball one. There's a far cry as we sit here on July 1st. On our first preseason game of the year, back on June 9th. In case any of you were wondering, I had a hoodie and a thermal jacket on by the end of the game. So a little bit different today as Daschbach is going to take that one off the first number 4 in his jersey on the back. And he will trot down to first base, and it's the third runner Cavalli has put on without the benefit of a hit. A couple of walks, and now a hit batsman. And with nobody out, Daschbach actually caught him in the elbow. It looks like he's still trying to stretch that out, as right now he's staying in the game. So he stands at first base ahead of Quinn Cotton. He is going to loop this one into right center field. It's going to drop in front of Skylar Hunter for a base hit. Daschbach is chugging for third. There'll be no play there as Kreidler cuts it off. And Quinn Cotton on base for the second time today. He shoots a single into right center and puts runners at the corners very quickly here in the top of the fourth with nobody out for Cavalli trying to hold that 1-0 lead.
He's good at what he does, a 390 average, like you said, at Grand Canyon University. This year batting 298 on the Cape, boosted it up to 310 with that single. A lot of RBIs as well for this kid. He can do it all. Really high draft prospect as well out there on the West Coast.
Now it'll be up to Reese Albert, the right fielder. Has a nice situation. First and third, nobody out. Shenton, the third baseman, in on the grass. This is a good-looking pitch by Cavalli that is going to miss for ball one on the inside corner. Albert, so for 1 today, was the first strikeout victim for Cavalli back in the second inning. Now Cavalli steps off, fakes to third and then to first. Cotton, the man leading off of first. He walked back in the second inning and then was picked off right there. So eliminated right away. So got to believe he'll be more cautious now as a lob throw over from Cavalli is going to beckon a head-first slide from Cotton, who's determined not to get caught again.
And Albert's been on an absolute tear, as I mentioned his last time up. He's riding a 4-game hit streak, and all 4 of those games he's had multiple hits.
This one's going to be bounced to second. He's going to get an RBI here as Valenzuela's not going to be able to come up with it. And coming home to score is Daschbach. We'll see how that one is scored. Probably going to be an error on Sahid Valenzuela, normally very sure-handed at second base. So after the Gatemen are able to get an RBI single with 2 outs in their inning, Cavalli is yet to retire a man in the fourth, and he's given it back. It's 1-1 now our score.
Yeah, Valenzuela just misplayed it. Tried to get that, I think he was expecting it to maybe die a little more on the grass, but that stone dust, it is flat and it is quick. And the grass, even though it deadened the infield single for Valenzuela, got the better of him here. It just ate him up, but I think that will rightfully go down as an E4. That's a play that's got to be made.
Now Johnny DeLuca with men at first and second. So 4 still on, but nobody out. This one just going to miss on the outside corner. 4-1. DeLuca's 1 for 1 today, singled. Back in the second inning was the first hit of the ball game for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-0. Going to be on the inside corner for a called strike one for the Oregon Duck. Does have a homer on the year, as I mentioned earlier. That was against the Gatemen. 5 RBI for him. just a .212 average as he squares to bunt here. It's going to be out in front of the plate. It's going to be a fair ball, and Millis is going to fumble it.
Wow.
And because of that, DeLuca is going to be able to reach at first base. A wacky play just inches in front of home plate will load the bases for the Red Sox with still nobody out here in the fourth.
That is about as tough a break as you're going to get if you're Wareham, especially after surrendering the run on the error by Valenzuela, what should have been a double play to end the inning. That one just plunked right into home plate, a fair ball. Nothing you could do about that. Millis, like you said, he boofed it a little bit as he tried to pick it up with his bare hand and wasn't able to. But just a tough break. And YD with no outs here, bases loaded. They got a chance to put up a crooked number.
And it has been a disastrous shutdown inning so far. Already a run in. The bases full of Red Sox for Nick Quintana. He reached on a walk his last and only trip to the plate today. Going to foul the first pitch straight back and fall behind 0-1. So that could very well be the second error of the inning for the Gatemen. The team that is leading the Cape League in fielding percentage, .983 coming into today. Cavalli's 0-1. A beautiful breaking pitch drops right in the bucket for him. And he's quickly ahead of Quintana, trying to battle back. The count is 0-2. Cavalli finds the sign he likes. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball going to be wasted out behind home plate once again. So the count will stay at 0-2. And it's that time of day. Drew Millis ditching the shades behind home plate. Infield still at regular depth, just about. Lyle Lockhart a bit in on the grass at first base. And Austin Shenton guarding the line, but straight up here for the Gatemen with nobody outs and the bases loaded. Here's the 0-2 one more time. It's going to be flown out to right center field. That's looking at the gap, but closing in on it is Skylar Hunter. He will make the catch, but tagging and scoring is Quinn Cotton as the throw comes to the infield. First out of the inning is recorded, but Cade Cavalli is given 2 runs back, and the Red Sox have their first lead of the day.
And Quintana saw something he liked, and with the bases loaded and nobody out, less than 2 outs, really, all you got to do is put the ball out of the infield. He did exactly that. Quinn Cotton scoring easily. Skylar Hunter electing to get it into the left side of his infield, keep Reese Albert at second, and Johnny DeLuca at first. Did exactly that, so double play still in effect here. Christian Caso for 1 today. Cade Cavalli, I think that breaking ball low is going to be the pitch for him and do some weak contact, get it up the middle again.
First offering to him, he goes right to it, like you said, Enrique. Breaking ball, low and outside, right on the black for him for a called strike 1. Cass is 0-1 today. He grounded out to Zahid Valenzuela to end the second inning at second base, leaving 2 men stranded for YD. Cavalli steps off the rubber. Time is granted. It's been any means possible for the Red Sox in this inning. A hit batsman, a single, a couple of errors, and now a sacrifice fly gives them this 2-1 lead. This pitch outside and low. They don't appeal. They're going to say he held up. Now they appeal. Very late down to first base. Call is confirmed that Koss did not go around. So the count evens at a ball and a strike with 1 out. Gateman coaching staff, Don Snedden mainly, really not liking that call. It's pretty close for the right-handed hitting Koss. But he stands in there at the 1-1 count. As a very settling breeze comes in through our press box. That pitch misses low and inside and puts Koss ahead of the count 2-1.
Koss pretty good year this year out west at UC Irvine, home of the Anteaters. Looks like it's still one of the coolest mascots in all of college sports. Batted .287 with 17 RBIs this year.
This one's going to be bounced towards Kryler's direction at short. Their only chances for one out as they throw across, and will get him at first base. 4 out number 2. Both runners move up. And obviously no chance at the double play there for Ryan Kryler. The only play that he could make, he made to get us to 2 down here in the 4th.
Well, Lockhart Jr. got to be a little careful there. It was a good reach from him to get that out. But he pulled his back foot off that bag really, really quickly. It's a bang-bang play. Got to do what you got to do, but scary there. Umpire giving him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Austra's Vito Frischia, the catcher, will stand in. With 2 outs and 2 men in scoring position, he will slice the first pitch off to the right and out of play for strike 1. Frischia's 0 for 1. He struck out to lead off the 3rd inning. Struck out swinging against Cavalli. 0-1 is going to miss inside by the shoe tops on the blue New Balance cleats. That'll even things at 1-1. Runners lead off the 2nd and 3rd. Here's the 1-0 home. Going to miss down low. So count runs in Frischia's favor, 2-0.
Frischia 2018 All-Colonial Athletic Association selection at designated hitter. So he is just that good. Best hitter in the conference. Team highs in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage.
Can certainly swing it and probably won't on the next pitch here as he is ahead of the count. 3 balls and no strikes. First base is open, but it would load up the bases for the top of the YD order if he was to get down there on a free pass. .3-0. He is swinging, and it's going to be fouled off and out of play. Gives Cavalli a break, runs the count to 3-1.
Frischia been in and out of the lineup this year. Was the everyday catcher until about a week ago. Batting .333 though, 4 hits in 12 appearances. Sometimes a pinch hitter, has a knack for getting on base as well. OPS right in that 750 range, pretty solid. For the man from Valley Stream, New York.
David Hamilton waits on deck. Here's the 3-1, going to be popped up. Right side, Lockhart a long run, but it will get out of play. First baseman was on his horse, but it just gets over the fence. And that will run things full. Cavalli, 1 pitch from getting out of this. Just 2 runs across. The count is now at 3-2.
It's just that kind of inning, and the pitch count climbing now for Cavalli. 76th pitch of the inning coming up for the Oklahoma Sooner. It's been that kind of inning, like I said. But the fact that YD has only scratched 2 across, given all the shenanigans that have been gone on this inning, it's your best case scenario. You'll take it.
Cavalli does look to shut the door right here. 2 men on, 2 out. Here's the payoff pitch. High breaking ball that probably slipped out of his hands there. 4-ball force. We walks the number 9 man. And that's going to bring out a meeting at the mound. Jim Lawler will walk out. And the pitching coach is out to the mound to discuss strategy. You can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. There is definitely action down in the Gatemen bullpen now. It looks like Brendan White is the one who's starting to get loose down there. And we talked about the long sleeves from Cavalli earlier. That might have played a part on that one. Pretty sweaty in the fingers. Missing on a breaking pitch he's been locating all day.
Yeah. I've heard of some guys that'll just opt for long sleeves. Like, they obviously choose a little pretty breathable material, given that it's 1,000 degrees outside right now. Check that on Weather Channel. It's true. But
Can't confirm.
Sometimes it's just a comfort thing. I think some guys like that feeling of security. I mean, and guys, baseball players, athletes in general, creatures of habit, creatures of superstition. Sometimes it is just a comfort thing. But like you said, it's sweaty, it's gross down there. Might have contributed to that slipping out of his hand.
And now the first pitch is going to miss down low to David Hamilton, who's 0 for 2 today. A little Red River matchup here between the pitcher from Oklahoma, the batter from the University of Texas. Hamilton, big part of that team that went all the way to Omaha for the Longhorns. 1-0 is going to miss inside. 2-0 is the count to him. He hit .291 on the year for UT. 5 homers, 37 RBI. 6 triples on the year down in Austin. But still looking for his first hit in the Cape League, as he is now a prolonged 0 for 6 across 2 games. It's going to be in there for a called strike. 2-1 is now the count. Hamilton represents the 8th man to bat for the Red Sox this inning. They've pushed across 2, and they're looking for more. They've got the bases loaded here with 2 outs. 2-1 is going to be bounced on the ground to Lyle Lockhart at first base. He's going to have to flip it to Cavalli. It's a close play, but he gets the foot on the bag and is able to retire Hamilton for a bang-bang out number 3. And the Red Sox leave him loaded. Cade Cavalli strands all 3. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's now 2-1 YD after 2 in the inning.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Welcome back here for the bottom of the 4th inning. The Red Sox have taken the lead from the Gatemen 2-1 as they were able to push 2 across with only the benefit of 1 hit in the inning against Cade Cavalli. And that's where we stand here from Spillane Field on this July 1st, which, as you baseball fans may know, Bobby Bonilla Day. On this day every year, the Mets pay him $1.19 million from 2011 to 2035 as part of that lucrative contract he signed with the team in 2000.
Signed it in 2000, and when was the last time he played in the major leagues, Cam?
Oh, man. Did he even play past 2003?
2001. I
was trying to be a little generous for Bobby.
Yeah, no, as you probably should, right? Be nice to the guy. He's a good player in his time, but it's crazy. He signed the restructured contract, and 1 year later, you're out of the league. You get $1 million every year from the Mets
for a quarter century.
Jeez, next 17 years still.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah,
it's good business on Bonilla's side. First pitch is in there to a strike, for a strike to Lyle Lockhart. One of the many lucrative contracts we've seen over the years. Cade Cavalli is heading down in the direction of the bullpen as this one is going to be lined into left field for a base hit. Low pitch, and going down for it is Lyle Lockhart, and he's got a leadoff single as the Gatemen try to bounce back in their half of the 4th inning.
Lockhart starting to hit the ball harder. Bumping that average up over that Mendoza line, keeping it steady. Up to 269 now, real nice batting average for him. He is a power bat, saw action A designated hitter, first base. Outfield at Houston has yet to play outfield here at Wareham, but he's valued for his bat, that's for sure.
As I mentioned, Cavalli going down to the bullpen down the right field line. So you got to imagine his day is done. Pitching 4 innings, allowing 2 runs on the hook right now. It's a 2-1 Red Sox lead. Pavin Parks has stepped in, and the designated hitter has taken the first 2 and is ahead of the count 2-0. We saw Brendan White warming up down there in the last half inning. We'll see who comes out for Wareham when we head to the top of the 5th. But right now in the bottom of the 4th, there's nobody out, and Lyle Lockhart leading off of first base. Parks holds up, and this one misses up high, so he is ahead of the count. 3 balls and no strikes is the designated hitter from Kent State.
Even in the shade, the heat continues to be oppressive. That one misses low. Pavin Parks aboard for the first time today. I had a popsicle that I was planning on eating at some point here. I knew it was going to be a bad idea to just kind of leave it sitting here, as now it is just a puddle of red sugar water inside the wrapping. That's kind of the end of the story. Yeah, that's just tough.
So much like Katy Perry and the California Girls, the sun today is so hot, it's going to melt the popsicle up here in the press box.
It did, in fact, melt the popsicle. Yeah, prophetic, Miss Perry, as always.
Had that going in batting practice the other day. I think that was a big hit.
Yeah. No, they
up
seemed
here
to
in
like
the press box,
they
at
were
least.
dancing. They were having a good time. And it came away with a win, too. Beat Chatham 7-3 that day.
Might need to see if it needs to come over the loudspeaker so far today with the Gatemen down 2-1. But threatening here, the first 2 runners are aboard in the bottom of the 4th ahead of Ryan Kreidler. A step off and a look down to second to no avail for Tommy Henry. Kreidler's 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to third base. His only time up. Now showing bunt, but going to take this pitch down low. Get ahead of the count.
Opted to bunt on that one, but those lower pitches, some of my favorite ones to bunt at, as it's kind of doing the work for you. Just got to keep the ball on top of, or keep the bat on top of the ball, follow it down, try to catch it with your bat, push something to the right side here.
And now a throw will be on at second base, and reaching out to get it is the second baseman, Christian Koss. That one was labeled for center field, but one of those plays you won't see in the box score is big for YD right now. It keeps Lockhart at second and Parks at first. Dashbach and the third baseman Quintana in on the grass, and Kreidler shows bunt again, but will nub it foul down the third base line. So unable to get it down that time.
And you see with the defensive alignment for a YD, Nick Quintana coming in crashing from third. So a bunt well placed down that third base line brings Quintana in. It sends the shortstop over to second base. Hamilton over to second, and then Christian Koss over to first. So at least third base open. With no outs here, they're happy to surrender the base runners to save an out, I should say. With a 2-1 count. Kreidler in a good spot to lay something down here.
And if Kreidler is to swing away here with maybe a little bit less pressure with those guys on base, trying to add on to the 240 average, but with just 1 strike, things could still be on for the sacrifice. He does square around again, and he will foul it off again. So now things will probably be taken off. It's a 1-2 count.
Kreidler batting .231, like you mentioned his last time up. Has seen the offensive production slow down just a little bit here.
He looks to get that back up with 2 men aboard for the Gatemen, and that's going to help it. He's going to ground it into left field, a base hit. It's a slow roller, so they're going to send around Lockhart. The throw comes in, but Lockhart will score standing up. And after YD counters with 2 to take the lead, the Gatemen bounce right back and have tied things up. Still nobody out in the inning.
I was about to mention how Kreidler was 2 for his last 18, but he shut me up preemptively. Producing offensively. He got a high inside fastball that he liked, poked it into left field. Lockhart scoring from second. Mike Mobbs at third base, waving Lockhart around furiously. Tie ball game here. Gateman responding in kind as time is called. Red Sox out there to have a chat. Christian Wonders, the pitching coach.
And this is going to be a big meeting out of the mound. The infield coming in. And let's see, with some action now going on in the YD bullpen, if we won't see a pitching change. It's gotten hairy for Tommy Henry. He's just allowed his second earned run and still met at first and second with nobody out. Ahead of Isaac Collins, who had a couple of hits, a couple of runs scored last night in the blowout win at Hyannis. Switch hitter will bat right if Henry is to stay in the game. Umpire out to make sure this is a sportsman's meeting and not trying to kill time.
Oftentimes that is what happens.
And usually it breaks things up rather quickly, so I guess he must be deeming that there's enough strategy going, or now we're going to have a pitching change. We're going to have a new Red Sox pitcher on the mound after this break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
Back here in the bottom of the fourth, the Gatemen threatening to take the lead back. They've already tied things up at 2 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. We've got a new pitcher for the Red Sox. It's the second anteater of UC Irvine they'll send out today. It's Trenton Denholm, who has only made 2 appearances on the year. Does have a 1-0 record and no ERA. He got the win the last time out back on the 26th of June. A 10-4 win against Orleans. He went 3 innings, didn't allow a run, and only gave up 1 hit in relief. Struck out 5 in 10 batters faced. His only other appearance, June 22nd, against Harwich, was a 12-1 Red Sox victory. Pitched an inning and a third. Walked 2, struck out 2, but didn't allow a hit or a run. So he comes on with runners at first and second for the Gatemen, after Ryan Kreidler just delivered an RBI single to left field.
And those 7 strikeouts in 4 innings of work, that's impressive as well. 3 walks, just 1 hit given up by the anteater of UC Irvine, like you said. And again, born in '99. That's terrifying.
We will take anything submitted to our Gatemen social media to make Henrique feel a little bit younger again.
Please. At Henrique Demore.
I'm thinking the Toys R Us thing might have hit you hard this week.
That was tough. Yeah, I bought all my gaming consoles from Toys R Us growing up. It was a frequented stop.
And diving back in there safely at second base is Paven Parks. There's something of an appeal from Christian Koss, and now the manager's going to come out and going to have a bit of a conference on what looks like a routine pickoff play. It was definitely close, bang bang at second base. And that would be a huge out for the Red Sox to get. Would be the first of the inning, keep the double play in order, and knock out a lead runner who's in scoring position.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right now, nothing's doing for them. Paven Park's still standing there at second.
Scott Pickler is pretty animated out there talking to the field umpire. Pointing over at second, pointing over back at the dugout. Clearly having an issue with what went down. But like you said, Koss with an appeal as well. So it's not just him that saw something go down. In his 21st season at the helm of these YD Red Sox, 6 Cape League championships to his name.
And one of the all-around great guys
that
this league has to offer. Gets his 2 cents in there. Second base umpire takes it. And we're about ready to play baseball again. As Denholm steps back on the mound, Collins about to step into the box. Batting from the left side for the first time today. His other plate appearance back in the second inning, he struck out. From the right side, the switch hitter against the lefty Tommy Henry. Now Dashbach not holding the man on at first base. He's actually in on the grass right in front of the runner. Nick Quintana at third is also in on the grass. And a big hole between first and second and short and third. Now everyone moving in as Collins shows bunt, and this one will miss down low for ball 1. And with a guy you inserted late into your lineup today with a couple of hits last night, with no outs and runners at first and second, they're essentially taking the bat out of his hands right now. They're looking to sacrifice both those runners over ahead of number 9 man, the struggling Skylar Hunter. Squares around again, and he goes around for a strike, and there's a throw down to second base. Parks is in there safely, but an awkward play as both Hamilton, the shortstop, and Christian Koss, the second baseman, went over to cover. And our second game that we've done this year with a collision between the second baseman and shortstop. This doesn't look like it's going to knock anyone out of the game yet, like it happened in Bourne. Both guys eventually had to leave. That was on a ground ball by Ryan Kreidler. But this in a pickoff throw, I don't know if I've ever seen that. This one's going to run inside on a bunt attempt. It is going to hit Isaac Collins on the foot.
Yeah. That's tough. You take it any way you can get it, though. And to your point, like you were making earlier, to put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out for Skylar Hunter is an interesting idea, even though his hits have come in a lot of clutch situations. I think back to the Orleans game, the last time those 2 teams played. Big double in the Falmouth game, that come from behind victory. Big 2 RBI double as well. Ripped the double in a pinch hit appearance earlier this year. He's got speed on the base paths. But Collins, I understand it. He's a really disciplined hitter, and yeah, he missed the bunt, but he can play small ball with the best of them. To put 2 aboard in scoring position with 1 out, never a bad idea, regardless of who's at the plate.
So everything in effect, a force at every base here with nobody out and the bases loaded. This one's cut on and missed by Hunter for strike 1.
Because also, I mean, even though Skylar's struggling, it gives him a lot more options in terms of what he's got to do to have a productive at-bat. Like I said, runner at third, less than 2 outs, just get it out of the infield. 1 run will score.
So 0-1 is the count to Hunter, who struck out his only time at the plate, but will slap this one down the third baseline and will be foul. So the count now will run to 0-2 to the Gatemen center fielder. Here's the 1-1 home with the bases loaded. It's going to miss outside to the lefty Hunter. 2-1 is now the count. Once again, a big hole between the base paths. with the middle infielders playing up the middle, trying to get a double play and sacrifice a run with nobody out and the bases loaded. 1-2, late swing by Hunter, and is unable to connect it as he walks dejected back to the Gatemen dugout. It's the first out of the inning. No one advancing on it. Bases still loaded for the top of the order and Jeremy Idens. So 2 strikeouts on the 0-for-2 day for Hunter. And there's 1 out, and the base is still loaded. Idens going to take this pitch outside. A nice play by Vito Frischia, moving to his right and able to block that, keep it in front of him, and maybe save a run from scoring. David Parks doesn't have great wheels down there at third base, but with enough room back here in the backstop at Spillane, that could have brought one home. Here's the 1-0. Kreidler going to take this one letter high and inside and puts it further in his favor. 2-0 hitters count. This one's going to be taken down low by Idens. And the Gatemen trying to take a lead here in the 4th inning. They're 1 pitch away as Trenton Denholm is now behind 3 balls and no strikes to Idens, and the base is loaded. Tyler Ahern is getting loose for the Gatemen in their bullpen. The rising sophomore from Florida State, looking to make his 2nd appearance. I believe right now he'd be the guy to come out in the 5th. But first things first, the 3-0 home. Going to be just on the inside corner. Idens is crowding the plate, but has to duck out of that one. The count now goes to 3-1. Big pitch there by Denholm to get over.
Yeah, did a good job of selling it, did Idens, but I guess it caught enough of the zone for the home plate umpire. Still in a good hitter's count here, though, 3-1.
Denholm to the belt. Here's the 3-1 home. On the outside corner, we've talked about it. That's been there all day for the pitcher. And it's a called strike 2, and things get all the more complicated for the Gatemen left fielder. Full count, 1 out, bases loaded in a 2-2 ball game. Here is the payoff pitch. Cut on and actually foul tipped into Frischia's mitt behind the plate. A lot like the play we saw with Drew Millis a couple innings ago that he was unable to corral. His counterpart does. And a huge back-to-back strikeouts for Denholm. The Gatemen trying not to let this opportunity slip away. Zahid Valenzuela will step in with 2 outs, and the bases still loaded.
Yeah, this is going to be one that the Gatemen look back on with disappointment if they can't get anything across here to break the tie. Valenzuela with a single his last time up, not a conventional one as that one is up and away. But trying to bust out of a little mini slump here. First 4 games went on an absolute tear, hit above 400, and the batting average still at a very respectable 333. But Valenzuela trying to get the bat going a little bit. And credit Denholm. He's done a heck of a job. Besides plunking Collins, done a really good job of sitting down these Gatemen. Working through a slightly weaker part of the lineup, yes, but there are no slouches in this Gatemen offense. The reason they got 100 runs on the year.
Yeah, and certainly they're building off some momentum from that 17-run output last night. Everyone top to bottom in the order was contributing. So no small feat even to get those guys down at the lower third of the order out today. The 2-0 is going to be fouled off to the left and out of play. Count now runs to 2-1. It's been back and forth in the last few innings. The Gatemen in the bottom of the 3rd went up 1-0. 2 in the top half of the 4th for the Red Sox, and already 1 in the bottom half for Wareham, and trying to build on it with the bases loaded. Here's the 2-1. Headed towards center field, and it's going to get down. Parks is in to score. Rounding third is Kreidler. He will score. Up to second on the throw to third is Zahid Valenzuela, who salvages the inning for the Gatemen. He brings home 2 on a 2-run single, and the Gatemen retake the lead 4-2 with a 3-run fourth, and there's still chance in the inning as Austin Shenton will be the next man up.
You like the sound of that, but going back to the Zahid Valenzuela at-bat, no cheap hits here. Denholm, who's doing so well, locating pitches low and away from hitters, but he left one up to Valenzuela, pulled his hands in, pushed through it, hard hit single over the head of the second baseman, Koss. And like you said, Cam, more importantly, they take advantage of the opportunity. And look at this, Austin Shenton will be intentionally walked to load the bases right back up for Drew Millis.
Yeah, because of that throw into third, Valenzuela was able to get down to second. That leaves first base open for Shenton to trot down to in just a moment. And they will take their chances with Drew Millis. And the base is loaded once again. And because of this intentional walk, it'll be for the second time in as many nights. The Gatemen will be able to bat around as Millis will represent the 9th man to the plate in this 4th inning.
Early on in the ball game, Gatemen putting the pressure on. It's always interesting, the dynamic of, obviously it's out of respect to Austin Shenton and the offensive capabilities that he has. He's already 1 for 1 today with an RBI single back in the 3rd, gave the Gatemen a 1-0 lead. But you got to think about, if you're Drew Millis, what are you going up there thinking? You're thinking, okay, they're saying I'm an easier out than Shenton, which statistically I don't think anyone would argue with that. That being said, it's a little bit of an attitude thing of, okay, I'm going to go up there and prove this guy wrong, prove the pitching staff wrong, make him pay for putting me aboard, and saying, all right, we'll give you an opportunity to drive one in, but we don't think you're going to do it.
These guys, still younger than us, Enrique, but these millennials, they have pride too.
They've got pride too.
They've got attitude.
These millennials, say the 21-year-olds.
Old men up here in the booth. 0-1 is the count to Millis with 2 outs. And now it'll even at 1-1 as this pitch is going to bounce inside. Another block there by Vito Frischia, who's been busy this inning behind the plate. On deck is Lyle Lockhart, who got all this started with a single to lead off the inning. He came around to score a tying run. And now a 4-2 Gateman lead. This one's going up the middle, and it's going to be a terrific play up the middle. Christian Koss, a backhand, and then a throw over to the covering Hamilton to end the inning. That looks like a couple more runs coming home for Wareham, but instead they'll settle for 3 across in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the 5th. 4-2 Gatemen now here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Gatemen Baseball is official.
Now here to the 5th inning. Gatemen now ahead 4-2. And we have a pitching change here from Spillane Field, which is brought to you by the Bay Point Country Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. So get to the point. Going to be Tyler Ahern coming on. The Florida State Seminole will make his 2nd appearance of the year for the Gatemen. His only other one was that 9-1 loss at Hyannis back on June 26th. He pitched a scoreless inning, set him down 1-2-3. So, much like John Blutarski's grade point average at Faber College, no ERA for him, 0.00 for Ahern on the Cape.
Can always count on you to provide the pop culture references. That's why I love calling games with you, Cam. You appreciate pop culture as much as I do. I think more, actually, which is saying something. So I live and die by this.
It means a lot to me. Okay, that means a lot. Got to make this fun.
Yeah, you gotta.
Gotta make
Gatemen are
this
having fun down there.
They sure are. They've pushed 3 across in the last inning to take the 4-2 lead. We've got a roller coaster of a game, and Tyler Ahern is trying to bring that to a halt and tell the Red Sox they're not tall enough to ride, as they scored 2 in the last inning. We'll start with Noah Campbell, the designated hitter. Take a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1.
Mentioned it. Really good scoreless inning of work for Ahern in that 9-1 blowout loss to Hyannis. His second appearance of the year here. 11 games out of the bullpen. That one misses low and away. From Florida State, 5.50 ERA. Career long 4. Struck out 3 in that game. It was against Boston College. Played at Fenway Park. So he performed well on the biggest stage. Spillane Field, pretty big stage, I'd say. Not quite as big as Fenway, but, you know, it's the closest to Fenway geographically.
Yeah, that's true. It's got all the charm, too. 2-1 is the count to Campbell. And this one going to miss outside once again, running it in Campbell's favor, 3-1. And we talked about the long sleeves from Cade Cavalli on this brutally hot day at Spillane. Tyler Ahern counters with just 1 to keep that right arm warm. And the 3-1 is going to miss down low, so Campbell keeps the bat on his shoulder and will take a 5-pitch walk to start things off here in the 5th inning. Andrew Doshbach will now step to the plate. He took what looked like a painful hit by pitch back in the 4th inning. I think most of them are painful at this level, but that one right around the left elbow. He was still wincing when he got down to first base. He's got a man down there right now in Noah Campbell and nobody out. This one going to be on the inside corner for a called strike.
6'3", 220. Densely built individual is Dashbach, but nothing dense upstairs. A Stanford Cardinal. Playing out there in the Pac-12. Really good start this year. His sophomore year at Stanford.
And led the team to the Super Regionals. This one is going to be fouled off and out of play. Excuse me, they lost in the Regionals to Cal State Fullerton, who moved on to the Super Regionals. My apologies there. It was a loaded bracket for Stanford. They were the number 2 team in the country going into the Regionals. And they got a pretty tough bracket. They had number 2 seed Fullerton Titans went on to advance. 3 seed Big 12 tournament champion Baylor Bears. And Wright State, a team that we've seen with players littered around the Cape League this year. We've already seen 3 or 4 of them, so it's a tough one for them. But it was the Titans once again knocking Stanford out of the NCAA tournament. 0-2 is now the count to Dashbach. Runner's going to go with the pitch, but this one's going to be fouled off. So no stolen base for Campbell. He trots back. Dashbach will keep it at an 0-2 count against the freshman from Jupiter, Florida, spring training home of the New York Yankees. Long look in from Ahern. Here's the 0-2 again. This one's going to be lifted towards left field. Idens is coming on strong. He's going to dive, and it's going to get past him. Hunter with a good backup will keep runners just at first and second. Bit of a risky play there by Idens, but luckily the great defender that Skylar Hunter is was backing him up. And it's just a single for Dashbach. And it's first and second with nobody out in front of the dangerous Quinn Cotton.
Yeah, I think Skylar Hunter just about saved that play, because if he lets that drop in front of him, it's runners at first and second. If he dives and misses that, it could be a little more trouble. But Skylar Hunter, he's a great defender, obviously, out there just because of raw physical talent, reflexes, call it what you want, but also a high IQ defender out of the Big Ten. Was there to back up his left fielder. Like you said, a risky play, but the risk is mitigated when you have someone behind you like Hunter. He was playing a good distance away in center field, but got over there in a hurry. So all things considered, not too bad, and they rule it was a single from Dashbach, rightly so. Back-to-back base runners here for YD.
And so Cotton will step up. He's reached base twice. He walked in the second and then singled in the fourth, both against Cade Cavalli. Gets his first looks at Tyler Ahern today. Just the third batter Ahern has faced, is yet to retire one, as he is going to foul this one. Off to the right, now to play is Cotton. He is behind in the count, 0-1. Ahern's Florida State Seminoles, another team that took an early exit in the regionals, hosting in Tallahassee. The year that Mike Martin became the winningest coach in college baseball history, passing the late Augie Garrido. 0-1 is going to be outside on a bunt attempt by Cotton, and looking down to first base is Millis. Everyone trots back to their respective bags.
Quinn Cotton's father, Anthony, played football at my high school, another purple-themed school, Northwestern University. I said high school. I don't know why I said that. I meant to say college, university. Purple running through his veins through and through.
This one's going to be through the hole at short and into left field. They're going to keep the runner at third. So station to station, everyone moves up, and with nobody out, the bases are loaded, and the Red Sox are threatening yet again.
And here's a guy coming up to the plate, Reese Albert, who's about the last guy you want up to the plate. Well, I say that, but two of the most fearsome hitters in the entire Cape League just came before him in Dashbach and Quinn Cotton. A lot of talent on this YD roster. Coming in today with second best batting average in the Cape League, batting .277 as a team. That is no joke. And their pitching staff is very good as well. Not a lot of power in these bats. They don't run well as a team. But sometimes station to station is all you need. And you got a guy like this, three guys in the lineup actually, but Ahern on the hill, Albert, another guy who can provide that big hit.
They're starting to flex that offensive muscle the last two innings. They scored 2 in the fourth, have now added their first here in the fifth. A sharp single to left field and an RBI for Reese Albert. And once again, everyone moves up a stop. And now it is 4-3. The Gatemen are in the lead.
3 straight singles into left. Nothing special about it, just hard hit balls into the right parts of the field. And trying to build on that first place lead are both of these teams actually. But YD within 1 run of the first place Gatemen.
Now Johnny DeLuca, Oregon Duck, will step in. We'll take this pitch low and inside for ball 1. So for those hot-hitting Red Sox, they sent up 8 to the plate in the fourth when they brought 2 home. And now 3 straight singles after the leadoff walk by Noah Campbell. Gets them a run back, and it is 4-3. Drew Millis, a quick meeting on the mound with Tyler Ahern. More action in the Gatemen bullpen. Tyler Kaiser is getting warm down there. One of the guys who has been a stopper for the Gatemen out of the pen this year. Could come into a very fishy situation. Right now, there's nobody out. The bases are still loaded. 1-0 to DeLuca. This one's going to be on the inside corner for a called strike. Gatemen are getting into a habit of playing some long games here recently. Game over 3.5 hours yesterday at Hyannis. We are already about 2 hours in, and just in the top of the fifth, not yet halfway through this ball game. A devastating changeup is going to be foul tipped into Drew Millis's mitt. And DeLuca is behind the count 1-2. Ahern trying to retire the first man of this inning.
Only 28 strikeouts in 54 games this year for DeLuca at Oregon. Set the freshman record with home runs, but just batted .212. Bit of an odd duck stat line for him.
See what you did there, Enrique?
Thank you, thank you.
Those things don't go unnoticed. This one's going to be fouled off to the right, and that stays at 1-2. Lockhart's in on the grass at first. Everyone else straight up. And it's going to be lined right at Lockhart, and it's going to be off his glove, a fair ball. Dashbach will come around to score. And stop me if you've heard this one before, but an RBI single moves everyone up. And we now have a tie ball game here in the fourth inning. In the fifth inning, and still nobody out.
That kind of inning for YD. And Tyler Ahern, bit of a bummer. He started off his Cape League career pretty well. And it's not like he's given up the long ball or anything too special, just a lot of hard hit balls. These Red Sox bats proving why they are in first place. They do in fact rule that a single.
And because of that, that is 4 straight for the Red Sox. And they won't add to the single total here, but it's flied out to Hunter. Runner is going to tag. The throw is going to be up the line, and Cotton will avoid the baseball and will trot in standing up. So even the first out of the inning is a productive one for Nick Quintana and the Red Sox. A sacrifice fly gives them the lead right back after the Gatemen push 3 across in the fourth. YD has already pushed 3 across in the fifth, and it's 5-4.
Nick Quintana back-to-back innings where he's come up with a man on third. Yeah, the base is loaded. Managed to push a sacrifice fly into center field. So a quiet, productive day for him. No official at-bat, I think, as he walked in the first inning, and sac flies don't go in there as at-bats. So 0 for 0 with 2 RBIs.
It's pretty efficient.
Yeah, Quintana, an awesome year this year at Arizona. Batted just above 300, but getting it done otherwise this year for the Gatemen.
He was one of the many stars that have come to the league out of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Of course, we talk about Andrew Vaughn, but Spencer Torkelson as well, who was with Chatham, now with Team USA, out of Arizona State. They're all over the place here on the Cape. 0-1 is now the count to Christian Koss, the second baseman, who made the terrific play that ended the Gateman threat last inning, which now proves all the more bigger. That probably would have brought 2 runs home. Instead, none, and he flies it out towards left field. Idens is under it and will make the catch. No one will advance, and that's the second out of the fifth.
Still 2 on for Vito Freesia, one of the more dangerous 9-hole hitters in the league. Even when we saw him last Sunday, it was exactly a week ago today that we saw Mr. Freesia pinch hit. And now, just as I say that, a pinch hitter for him as well. But Freesia always bats in the bottom of the lineup. Batting now here, another third baseman, Andrew Martinez. So interesting to see how they sub him in at catcher, because Martinez has not done a lot of catching out of UC Santa Barbara. He played third base the last time these two teams met.
Like you mentioned, we did see him in both games of the doubleheader. Was just 1 for 6 total. The Gaucho from UC Santa Barbara comes on with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Red Sox have taken the lead back at 5-4. And he takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Certainly a tale of 2 different appearances for Tyler Ahern. After a 1-2-3 inning, his first time out in a low-leverage situation at Hyannis. In this inning, protecting a 2-run lead, a walk, 4 singles. 3 runs have come across. This one's going to be on the outside corner for a called strike 2. And he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this nightmare inning. Oh-2 home, waste pitch, fastball misses up high. Well too high for Martinez to offer at. And Henrique, I don't know if you care too much about this, but Andrew Martinez, he's older than me.
Wow, would you look at that?
So I like that.
Oh, younger than me, though.
I can ask for his autograph now. This one going to miss up letter high. Even the count at 2-2.
When did you say your birthday was? Coming up pretty soon here, isn't it?
It is. I'm not going to disclose that on the air.
Oh.
But it's within the month.
Okay. Now officially within the month.
Yeah, I just don't want to get bombarded on the day by all our devout listeners.
No, of course.
You
I
know?
get it. Keep the paparazzi
Got to
away.
stay humble. Got to stay humble. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs and 2 men aboard for the Red Sox. We are ready to play baseball once again. And a big pitch upcoming for Tyler Ahern. And it's going to be bounced towards him, moving towards the first base bag, and he will take the very rare 1 unassisted putout to put him out of his misery in this inning. 3 runs come across for the Red Sox. They take the lead right back. It was 4-2. Now it is 5-4 YD as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs. The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
Halfway through the ball game here at Spillane, it's 5-4, the Red Sox lead. And it's still Trenton Denholm who is out there for YD, but we do have a defensive substitution. Vito Frischia was pinch hit for by Andrew Martinez in that inning, and now in at catchers, number 2, Adam Kerner from the University of San Diego. And a guy we saw take a real tumble last week in that doubleheader, the second game. He went full throttle into the nets. The coaches stand behind near the on-deck circle. And to lead things off is the man who led off the 4th inning, Lyle Lockhart, the first baseman, bat from the left side. Lockhart is 1 for 2 today, struck out looking his first time up, but singled to start things off in the 4th. First pitch is in there for a strike to the first baseman from Houston.
And back-to-back really productive innings for both teams. Sent a lot of men to the plate, 17 in total. And back-to-back, a lot of men to the plate innings for YD themselves. A strike 2 is taken low and outside to Lockhart.
As you mentioned, the Gatemen were able to bat around in the 4th, and that last play becomes so huge by Christian Koss. There's a ball labeled up the middle by Drew Millis that would have scored a run or 2. And Koss was able to take it on the backhand on the lip of the outfield grass and flip it to David Hamilton, the shortstop, for the force out that ended the inning. And that allowed YD to take the lead with their 5th run in the top half of this frame.
And Koss, the last time these two teams met in that doubleheader, Koss made a couple of pretty costly errors. But bounce back here with a huge, and I mean huge, putout.
This one's going to miss outside to Lockhart. Evens the count at 2-2. For Wareham, it was a run in the 3rd to take a 1-0 lead. YD took it back at 2-1 in the 4th. Then Wareham 4-2 at the end of the 4th, and now 3 in the top of the 5th for the Red Sox. Has them up 5-4. And Lyle Lockhart on a swing and a miss has him down with his 2nd strikeout of the day. 1 looking, 1 swinging. And the leadoff man is retired to start the 5th.
Yeah, as soon as he started swinging, he wanted it back. The second half of the swing pretty half-hearted from Lockhart. On 3 straight pitches. Denholm working pretty nicely here.
Now it's deal with Pavin Parks, and misses on the first pitch up high and inside. 4-1. Parks 0 for 1 today, grounded out to first base in the second, but walked his last time up. Would come around to score as he takes this pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Not much wind here at Spillane tonight. The little that is blowing inside from right field. As that pitch is another called strike on the outer half. 1-2 is now the count. Dusk starting to come over Wareham. Lights not on yet, not needed. 1-2 misses outside. Evens things up to the designated hitter from Kent State. This one going to miss outside. Parks almost lunging at it, but stays home and runs the count full 3-2 with 1 out and nobody aboard in the Gateman half of the 5th. He's going to waste this pitch off to the left and out of play. Stay at 3-2. Red Sox also took the lead in the hit column in that top of the 5th, 6-5 in their favor, 5-4 on the scoreboard, and a couple errors apiece for the teams that rank 9th and 1st in the 10-team Cape League in fielding percentage. 3-2 is going to be a called strike 3, but a drop third strike and a throw down to first. Pavin Parks completely caught off guard on that one. That looked a bit high, and he had flung his bat towards the dugout and was walking down to first. And instead, he's rung up for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down, a couple of strikeouts for Denholm. Was really settled in nicely, considering what he came into. Now we'll deal with Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop. First offering to him is going to be up high above the Gateman lettering on his home white uniform. We'll make the count 1-0.
Home whites or road navies, doesn't matter. For the Gatemen, they always sport the navy blue helmets. Swing and a miss on that one. Good fastball outside from Denholm. The blue helmets, of course, purchase of those sponsored by Gateway Tavern. All year, allowed the Gatemen to have these helmets for free.
One is going to miss inside at the knees, which are covered, those white pants covered in the black infield gravel. As we have come to expect just about every Gateman home game. Not something you usually see. Normally a light brown, get the jersey dirty, but black all over those white Gateman uniforms.
Yeah, my first day here in Wareham, I thought when I came to my first home game at Spillane, I thought it was some sort of tarp or something coming that covered the field. Because I thought, oh, okay, it was kind of a gloomy day, one of those June gloom days. But my rain, they got it covered with a nice black tarp, but I saw the mound and the dirt in the around home plate weren't covered, which I thought was odd, because the two of the most crucial parts to keep good, especially with all the divots on those surfaces. But the stone dust, part of the reason why we've had no cancellations so far this year. All our off days have been scheduled and gone on as they should.
3-2 is going to be popped up on the infield. It's the second baseman, Koss, calling everyone off. And he will make the catch that retires the side. Gatemen go down 1-2-3 after falling behind 5-4. That's the score of the Red Sox in the lead as we head to the 6th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
As we head to the 6th inning from Spillane Field, the lights have been turned on overlooking the diamond, and it's still Tyler Ahern out there after a 3-run 5th in which he gave up 4 hits and walked a batter. The Seminole will stay out for the top of the Red Sox order. In the Texas Longhorn, David Hamilton, with his burnt orange batting gloves, will step in from the left side. 0 for 3 today. First pitch to him, he actually shows bunt, but it's going to run outside and low, 4-1. He's going to bunt again, but this one going to be foul down the third base line. Not a very good attempt there from Hamilton. One and one is the count to Hamilton, whose teammate Cody Clemens was a finalist for the Golden Spikes Award. Of course, that was won by our very own Andrew Vaughn from Cal and 2018 Gateman. And there for a called strike on that last one, so it's 1 and 2 now to the Red Sox shortstop. One, two is going to be slapped towards left. It's a long run over for Idens, but he will track that down. And it has been horns down today for David Hamilton. All 4 of them, he's 0 for 4 here in the 6th inning.
Hamilton, you mentioned the teammate-ship to Cody Clemens, but also another slugger on that team, a guy who's in his year, in Hamilton's year, I should say, and played in the Northwoods League last year. I got to see him. His name's Zach Zubia. He's actually also on the roster here for YD. He broke the Northwoods League single-season home run record after his freshman year. Hit 22 big flies in that 72-game season.
Certainly a lot of power that he and Clemens were able to deliver. A big reason why the Longhorns were back to Omaha. They've been more than any other college franchise, or college program, I should say, has ever been to the College World Series. So once a check swing on a pitch in the dirt, they appeal down to the third base umpire, and he's doing Noah Campbell no favors as he rings him up on that one and evens things at a ball and a strike. One, just going to miss a little bit low on that outside corner. Campbell will take it. Maybe a little bit of poetic justice to put him back up at a 2-1 count. 2-1. That one's going to miss in a very similar spot. Now that puts the South Carolina Gamecock ahead of the count, 3-1.
Drafted in the 19th round out of high school. Not often you see guys go that high right out of high school, but opted to go to South Carolina and build up that draft stock.
He is going to bounce this one to Tyler Ahern. And just like the last out of the 5th inning, I said a very rare one unassisted. We've now seen it twice. Tyler Ahern takes it to the bag himself for out number 2.
Yeah, a little bit odd here. What I also found out was that he didn't. He was running up the line and just kind of opted to outrun him to the bag, where he could have just turned around and poked him with the glove to register the out.
So now Andrew Dashbach will step in. Number 3 man has reached base twice. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th, signaled his last time up in the last inning in the 5th. Takes this one down low, 4-1, 1-0. Dashbach going to foul this one off home plate and back behind him. Count now goes to 1-1. He's recovered nicely from that hit by pitch on the back of his elbow, was stretching it out at first base. Looked like for a moment he might come out of the game, but he has stayed in for a couple at-bats since then and still playing first for the Red Sox. One is a nice breaking pitch that catches the heart of the plate for a called strike 2.
Dashbach 1 for 2 today. Single pop out, runs scored as well, 2 of them. 2 runs scored also for the guy on deck, Quinn Cotton. And sure enough, they have been the offense for YD basically all year this year. Dashbach, another guy along with Andrew Vaughn in that 2018 All Pac-12 first team. And we know the numbers at Stanford are ridiculous. He batted .287, 42 runs, 17 home runs, most in a single Stanford season since '08. Led the team in home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, and total bases. Another Andrew Vaughn-esque stat line for the rivals from across the bay.
And that, once again, for the number 2 team in the country going into the NCAA tournament and regular season champions of the Pac-12. And if you might recall, the national champions came out of that conference as well, Oregon State. This one's going to be popped up, center field. Skylar Hunter coming on. Will make the catch. That retires the side. So Ahern keeps them scoreless in this one. It's still 5-4 Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 6th. After a quick break, we'll have our Ian Vicera look around the league.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Tonight, over in Cotuit, the Kettleers are tied 3-3 with the Chatham Anglers. Chatham tied up the game in the 9th inning by scoring a run. That one's in the bottom of the 11th. Over in Harwich, the Harbor Hawks lead that one 2-1 over the Mariners. That is in the top of the 8th. As for the Bourne Braves and the Orleans Firebirds, we have a comeback on our hands. Orleans trailed 5-2 in the 7th inning, but put up a 5 spot in the 7th and now lead 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Over in Falmouth, our last game of the night, the Brewster Whitecaps are tied with the Falmouth Commodores 3-3, and that one's in the bottom of the 8th. That's our Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ian. In our game, it's 5-4. The Red Sox in the lead. It is still Trenton Denholm. 5-4 in our game here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. Trenton Denholm still on the mound. And he has got number 8, 9, and 1 in the Gateman order. Isaac Collins will be the first man to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to him, he's going to try and bunts it off a home plate. And back foul for strike 1. Trying to catch the third baseman, Nick Quintana, sleeping. He was back deep at the bag at third. One Collins is going to cut on and slice it foul down the left field line. And a short run over there by Cotton, but it will get out of play. Collins 0 for 1 today in his only official at-bat. He struck out. That was back in the 2nd. It was hit by a pitch in the 4th to load the bases. Now behind 0-2. 0-2 waste pitch, well outside. Collins sticks to his guns and lays off. The count now goes to 1-2. Skylar Hunter waits on deck. This one going to miss up high again, so what was 0-2 is now 2-2 to the new Gateman right fielder, Made his first start out there last night at Hyannis and gets the start again tonight after Bryant Packard was a late scratch from the lineup. And what was 0-2 is now 3-2 as this pitch misses down low. And Collins has worked the count full to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Isaac Collins, we're just about the only group of people that calls him Isaac, otherwise known as Ike. To everyone else, chops that one for a...
It's going to be a tight play at first, and they're going to call out Collins, who is very frustrated. He thought he had beaten that out. Gateman dugout certainly thought so too, but a nice play down there at third base by Nick Quintana. That one looked labeled to left field for a hit.
That was tough. It's the only reason I didn't let off the call there. I thought I was going to be able to continue with my thought and not narrate a play, but quick reaction there from Nick Quintana to put away Ike Collins, as he's known by, again, pretty much everyone except for us.
This one going to be fouled off by Hunter. He's quickly behind the count, 0-1. Going to be fouled off to the same spot just about. And Hunter's now down 0-2. He has struck out twice today, both swinging. He's 0 for 2, struck out in the in the third, and then again in the fourth. Left him loaded that last time. 0-2, he lays off, a tough pitch to lay off on the outside corner, but he does wisely for ball 1, 1-2. He's going to sit back on and bloop it out towards left field. Twisting and turning, Quinn Cotton will settle under it for out number 2. It's an 0 for 3 day so far for Skylar Hunter.
I think that one was hit probably about 2 steps behind where Quinn Cotton started initially. But like you said, twisting and turning, tough to backpedal on those. That was hit decently hard, but right at Cotton. Hung up in the air long enough for the left fielder from Grand Canyon to make the grab. I'll turn it over for Jeremy Idens. 0 for 1 today. Runs scored, pair of walks as well. So a moderately productive day for him at the plate.
He's going to take the first pitch in there for a strike. And a couple of big hits in the 4-3 win against Hyannis here on Friday night. So he delivered 3 RBI. It was the difference in the game for the Gatemen. This one going to miss up high. Count evens at a ball and a strike. With 2 outs, no one aboard. Christian Koss, the second baseman, playing out on the outfield grass and shading mightily towards center field. But he's not going to have a play on this one, as this one will run inside to Idens and hit him on the back of the thigh. And he will trot down to first base, and the Gatemen have a base runner now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And Zahid Valenzuela, 2 for 2 today, or 2 for 3, excuse me, 2 RBIs, pair of singles on the day for the Cal State Fullerton Titan. As we mentioned, his team knocked out the Stanford Cardinal in the Super Regionals. Regionals or Super Regionals, right?
It was the regionals.
It was the regionals.
I had said supers, which was wrong.
Yes, but then Cal State Fullerton got knocked out in the Super Regionals. They lost to Washington, if my memory serves correctly. All right.
Valenzuela is going to lift this one down the right field line just fair. Gets a bit of chalk down that right field line. Mike Mobbs is going to hold up Idens at third. Valenzuela will go down to second with his 3rd hit of the ball game. And there are now 2 men in scoring position as the Gatemen have got something going with 2 outs.
2 men in scoring position, 2 outs for Austin Shenton. Do you think they intentionally walk him again? I would think no.
This might be a good opportunity, but with 2 outs and the way I think Denholm has settled in, I think you might take your chances with him.
But behind the plate, Kerner motioning that they might. And he's poking his glove out to the outside, and so they will intentionally walk Shenton for the 2nd time today.
So for Shenton, he'll take it. It'll be the 3rd time he's reached base. In each of the last 2, they have walked to load the bases. But this time, with 2 outs in the frame, they will take their chances with Drew Millis again.
Shenton still in there, ready to swing just in case. I mean, you've seen those clips, right? Those nightmare intentional walks where a guy just leaves one a little too high, he gets lazy with it, does the pitcher. Then something gets crushed over the center field wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Seen some guys get hits off it. I believe Manny Ramirez did it once.
Probably. I feel like I remember seeing that.
So there is the 4th ball, and down to first base goes Austin Shenton. We were talking about that super regional. And we're going to talk about after a minute here, as it looks like we are about to have a pitching change here as the infield is going to come in. Manager is out there. Still no official signal yet from either him nor the umpire. That Washington Huskies team that went to Omaha, a couple of 2017 Gatemen on it, All-Star Willie McIver as well as Ben Baird. So congratulations to them on the first time the Washington Huskies went out for the College World Series. We are going to have a pitching change here from Spillane Field. We'll give you that new pitcher for the YD Red Sox after these messages.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
As we continue in the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-4, the Red Sox are ahead, but the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here's we have a pitching change. The new Red Sox pitcher is Chandler Fidel from the University of Arkansas Little Rock. Has appeared in 5 games, has made a start for YD. Does have a 4.50 ERA and has struck out 12 in 8 innings pitched. His last time out, no earned runs in an inning and a third, and only faced 4 batters, so faced the minimum. As we hear over the loudspeakers, one Texan introducing another, Willie Nelson, bringing in Chandler Fidel from Garland, Texas, up near the Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth area. Comes on with 3 Gatemen on base and 2 Gatemen gone in the inning, protecting that 5-4 lead.
A starter at Arkansas Little Rock this year, a 4.02 ERA, 96 innings of work, 92 strikeouts as well. Low walk rate, 20 only on the year, but opponents hitting a cool 261 against him.
And Henrique, I like to do this thing when we get someone's hometown and find some notable people.
Right, yes.
It's a big thing for me, and this might show us our age once again. So he's from Garland, Texas, as I mentioned,
right,
which is the hometown of Mitchell Musso.
Hey.
Once a star on Hannah Montana.
Yeah, I remember Mitch.
And also Leanne Rimes, 2-time Grammy winner.
Yes.
There's some famous people. Seth Russell, Baylor's all-time touchdown leader. Throw that in there. So Drew Millis will come up. Switch hitter will bat right. And this is the matchup the Red Sox want because on the year, Millis just 2 for 12 hitting against lefties and 294 from the left-hand side. So that certainly favors YD in this matchup, but Millis is ahead of the count, 1-0.
Was robbed of a base knock his last time up to retire a similar situation in the 4th.
Looping breaking ball is in there for a called strike.
Really good pitch, cut in to the right-hander. Well, batting from the right side anyway, Millis.
All right, Henrique, one more from Garland, Texas, because it's big for people around here.
Right.
Former NBA star Mookie Blaylock.
Ah, I know the name, don't know a ton about him.
Namesake of one Mookie Betts. This one's going to be cut on and missed for strike 2. a favorite of Mookie Betts' father. So that's how he got the nickname. So there you go. He will play for the real Red Sox tonight. Take on the Yankees. About to start right now. But this one bound to be more exciting, as this one is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Millis goes down looking and strands the bases loaded for the Gatemen in the 7th. Or excuse me, the 6th. They made it a little interesting, but now we head to the 7th. And it's still 5-4 YD here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone, a home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
And on for his 3rd inning of work as we head to the 7th is Tyler Ahern. He was the man who gave up the 3 that gave the Red Sox the lead, but held them there last inning. 5-4 our score here in the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me is Enrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. Gatemen looking to make it the 4th win in a row, but they'll need to come back in this one. It'll be a tough part of the order once again for Ahern to come into. He's got 4, 5, 6, Quinn Cotton, Reese Albert, and Johnny DeLuca, the ones expected right now. And clinging, they're trying to keep it at that 1-run deficit.
And Ahern, he started off his outing pretty shakily. Walk, 4 straight singles given up, but since then has been all business. Sat down 6 YD Red Sox in a row, but now is the real test. Cotton, Albert, and DeLuca. Cotton and Albert. Albert batting over 400 this year. At least coming into today he was. And Cotton obviously no slouch at the plate either.
First pitch he will take low and away for ball 1. 1-0 is the count. Hearns 1-0 is going to miss up high, 2-0. And we like to talk about those people from the pitcher's hometown. We end up inadvertently doing it for the opponent more because we're kind of pulling up their stuff right in front of us. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here over the next couple pitches for Tyler Ahern. First one's going to be roped towards right center field. Moving back is Hunter and Collins, but it will get all the way to the wall. And on one hop, it'll be Quinn Cotton standing at second base with a leadoff double and a little celebration. And an insurance run now stands in scoring position for the Red Sox.
Yeah, Quinn Cotton doing what he does best. That was extremely well hit. Just kind of kept on carrying. Like you said, Cam, not a ton of breeze today. Actually completely dead right now. But Cotton aboard in scoring position. And Reese Albert, 1 for 3 today. Single, reached on an error, struck out in the 2nd. Like I said, batting 400 on the year. Still riding a 4-game multi-hit streak. Extended the hit streak to 5. Another base knock could continue an impressive stretch here for the freshman from Florida State.
So now Reese Albert stands in for the left-hand side. First pitch is going to miss down low. 2 men warming in the Gatemen bullpen. So as I pulled up my Jupiter, Florida page, I'm going to have to do this in a hurry, it looks like. He's got some great people from Florida, from Jupiter. Burt Reynolds, may have heard of him. Mike Schmidt, 500 homers. Michelle Wee, former MVP Matt Holliday. Ernie Els. So I just wanted to even things out there.
Right.
This one's going to be bunted down the first baseline, and it is a beauty. It'll get him to out at first, but we'll get Quinn Cotton over to third base. So a successful sacrifice bunt for Reese Albert, your number 5 man, laying it down. Gets caught into third after the leadoff double, and now Johnny DeLuca will step in with that insurance run 90 feet away.
Ricky Fowler, Michael Jordan as well.
Yeah, I'm a little
Ernie Els,
skeptical on
yeah.
this Jordan one. He might have been born there, but as we know, he grew up in North Carolina. It's going to take some extra research. We need to get our beat writer Ian Vicera on that.
I think so.
He does it all at these home games. First pitch going to miss inside to DeLuca. 1-0. Brooks Koepka, another famous golfer. A lot of baseball players, golfers from Florida. I mean, you can't go wrong. Rick Ankiel, a great comeback story in the major leagues. This appeal down to third base is going to be to no avail for the Gatemen. It's going to be a 2-0 count to DeLuca. Infield in. 2-0 is going to catch the outside corner for a called strike 1, 2-1. There is only one out in this top half of the seventh. Here's the 2-1 home. Nice pitch by Ahern. Freezes DeLuca and will even the count at 2-2 with a called strike. Ahern looks in from the chest. The 2-2 is going to miss outside. Millis comes out of his crouch to get it. And that will run the count full to DeLuca. 3-2. A runner standing at third. Just one out in the inning. So if he does put him on here, a force would be in line ahead of Nick Quintana, who waits on deck. But he's not worried about that one as it clips the outside corner for a called strike 3. The first one for Ahern. And it's brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
First strikeout for the Gatemen pitching staff since the third inning when Noah Campbell caved to end the third. Cade Cavalli, his final line, 4 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 runs, only one of them earned. Ahern roughed up initially, but since then has looked good, but in danger of giving his team a 2-run deficit to face here. Nick Quintana, 2 RBIs today, both on sac flies.
He takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. So because of those 2 sacrifice flies and the walk he drew in the second, no official at bat for the third baseman from Arizona. As we play in the 7th inning, an inning that has 2 outs in it. Next one, another devastating breaking pitch right on the black for a called strike 2, and Ahern is 1 pitch away from getting out of this in very impressive fashion after the leadoff double and the sacrifice bunt. Infield at normal depth here with 2 outs. Quinn Cotton at third base. 2 out in the inning. Here comes the 0-2. Going to be bounced in front of third base. It's going to need to be a nice play by Shenton, and Shenton is equal to the task. Throws across his body to get the out and strand the runner at third after the leadoff double. It's still 5-4 Red Sox as we head to the stretch here from Spillane Field.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gateman.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
We are on to the bottom of the 7th here from Spillane Field, still 5-4. The Red Sox in the lead. They make another defensive substitution. Luke Waddell will now fill in at third base. So Nick Quintana, who ended that last inning, appears to be out of the game for the duration of this one. He is replaced by Waddell at third. And for the Gatemen, it will be 5, 6, 7, starting with the switch hitting Lyle Lockhart, who will switch over to the right-hand side. He's batted both as a righty and a lefty today for the Gatemen.
First baseman, number 18, Lyle Lockhart from Houston.
And he has struck out twice, sandwiched around a single that he had back in the 4th inning. This one going to miss down low for ball 1 to the Gatemen first baseman.
Chandler Fidel entering his 2nd full inning of work here. 3rd of an inning under his belt. Nice strikeout of Drew Millis to end another threat. Looping breaking ball, my goodness, strike 1. The final line on Trenton Denholm. 2 2/3 innings of work, 2 hits, no runs earned or otherwise, and no walks, 4 strikeouts. Truly masterful for the freshman from UCI.
This one just missing off the outside corner. Looked pretty good from the lefty, but will propel Lockhart ahead of the count, 2-1. You got to admit, Tyler Ahern, the way he's come back after that rough first inning has been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Set them down in order in the 2nd inning in the 6th, and then the leadoff double for Quinn Cotton. In the 7th, they sacrificed him over to 3rd, and Ahern kept them stranded. A big strikeout of Johnny DeLuca, and then a ground out to 3rd base to end things. Going to appeal down to 1st, and Lockhart stays up there, as they say he did not go, and it runs the count full, 3-2. Look in on the 3-2. Is just going to miss off the outside corner. The umpire looks away from the pitcher Fidel, and down to first base goes Lyle Lockhart. The Texan walks the Texan, and the leadoff man is on in the bottom of the 7th.
Pavin Parks now the batter. Had himself a pretty good day yesterday, 0 for 2 today, though. Dud does have a run to his name, after he walked and scored earlier in today's contest. His team trails by 1 here, though, but he does represent the go-ahead run. Gateman starting to run out of outs.
And that Texas-Texas matchup there, Enrique, that's pretty much Dallas versus Houston, which, big deal. Big deal. Trust me on that one.
Where does Waco slide into the big deal matchups in Texas?
That's a good question. Waco's your pit stop between Dallas and Austin.
On the collegiate scale, I imagine you get some good ones, right?
Yeah.
Who are your main rivals? I don't know much about Big 12.
That'd be TCU.
TCU? Yeah. Okay.
And, of course, Texas U, as we like to call it.
Texas U?
Yeah.
I like that.
So actually, that's the A&M fans. They don't want to. A&M thinks they're the real University of Texas.
That's
so they
a hot
call
take.
UT TU.
That's a hot take.
So I've had to hold it in with David Hamilton today.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything about it. But yeah, that's our big ones. And Oklahoma, of course. Right. Oklahoma. Although, all respect to Cade Cavalli, of course. We're supposed to have 2 Oklahoma Sooners on the team this year. Levi Prater, left-handed reliever, was supposed to come to the Gatemen, but he unfortunately got hurt in the last game of the regional that the Sooners were knocked out. We're going to have another big meeting on the mound, and what will most likely turn into another pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th, but no signal yet. although it has come late from the YD side today. Usually this meeting comes about and then a signal is made from the mound.
Cam, should we break the news after the break?
I think it's a good tease. I think it's a good tease that we just received word up here. And we are going to have a pitching change here from Spillane Field. We'll give you that new pitcher and some breaking sports news when we come back after these messages.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU structural soil and Rooflight certified green roof media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier two-year maritime college.
We are back here from Spillane Field, and we've got a new pitcher on the mound, Ryan Nelson, another Oregon Duck. And bigger news for NBA fans and Celtics fans alike. More reason, more fuel to hate LeBron James if you're a Celtics supporter. He signed a 4-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, just coming in 4 years, $154 million bucks to send him to LA.
I mean, honestly, I was surprised he didn't break 40. If you do the math, that's $38.5 a year.
It means something's coming, Enrique.
What?
That means there's another shoe to drop.
Exactly.
Surely.
They've cleared up the cap space. I mean, this has been a long time coming, ever since LeBron signed. I mean, ever since he signed his Cleveland deal, the first thing people did was say, okay, when does that end, and how does that line up with Los Angeles' plans? This has been a long time coming, and I'm not surprised. There was even rumblings this morning. I got a notification saying a lot of NBA execs, they already knew. They thought LeBron has already known he's going to Los Angeles for a long time, and the deliberation was all for show. Now, it was only 1 day into free agency, technically, but I'm not surprised.
As much as I love to talk about regional rivalries all around Texas, LeBron just has to ruin it for us again. Classic LeBron move as the count goes to 1-1 to Pavin Parks. Ryan Nelson, a 1-0 record on the year, 5.40 ERA in his 5 innings pitched, 4 appearances, all out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. His last time out was when he got the win back on June 27th. It's a 3-2 win at Harwich, a crucial win for the YD Red Sox. Harwich was in first place at the time. Pitched 3 innings, only allowed a hit, no runs, 1 walk, but 5 strikeouts in his 11 batters faced.
That's an absolute logjam at the top of the East standings. YD, Harwich, and Chatham separated by just 1 game and 2 points. Orleans and Brewster, well, they're doing Orleans and Brewster things, languishing in the bottom of the standings.
This one is going to be cut on and missed by Pavin Parks. And evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The man on at first is Lyle Lockhart, who led off this inning with a walk against Chandler Fidel. Two to Parks is going to be bounced foul down the right field line. We mentioned earlier the game last night, 3.5 hours for the Gatemen, a little over, about 3:37. Right now we're heading towards hour number 3. Still in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Gatemen looking to rally to make them 2-0 in these marathon weekend games. 2-2, going to be jammed in on Parks, and he will just push it foul towards the Gatemen dugout to stay alive.
Allison, 6'3", 175, walking string bean up there on the bump. And a graduate from Nevada of Basic High School. Don't usually bring up high school numbers, as everyone on the Cape has ridiculous high school numbers, but hit 415 at Basic High School.
I have a lot of followers on Instagram who could have gone there.
Yeah. I knew there was a joke in there, and I was trying to make it, but you beat me to it.
That's what I'm here for, Enrique, to beat you to the punch. 3-2, a full count now to Pavin Parks. A lot of kids I went to high school with could have fit in right well at Basic High. Yeah. Nobody out, man on first, 3-2 home. A nice breaking pitch to get Pavin Parks to swing and miss. He slams his bat in anger and will head to the dugout with a strikeout for the first out of the inning. Still a man at first for Ryan Kreidler. It's the second strikeout of the day for Parks. 0 for 3, but reached with a walk back in the fourth inning. One out. Here's the first offering to Kreidler. Going to catch the inside corner, although the Gateman shortstop was backing out of the way of it. It's a called strike. 0-1 is the count. Going to miss down low up by the UCLA blue Nikes that Ryan Kreidler sports. Evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Love those, and I love to see guys rep their schools in any way they can, right? You see bright colored catcher's gear, catching helmets, batting gloves, cleats, the works. It's cool to see here on the Cape.
Runner's going to go with the pitch, and Kreidler's going to line it to third. This is going to be an easy double play for the Red Sox and bail them out and end the inning. The leadoff walk goes nowhere for the Gatemen. We head to the 8th. It's still 5-4 Red Sox here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. A tough luck double play there. In just a moment, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Mary Orders. He's going to talk to Coach Don Sneddon in the middle of a one-run game as we head to the 8th inning.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, we've been off a little bit defensively today. What have you seen out there?
It all happened in the same inning, so that was unfortunate for us, and good teams took advantage of that. So we're trying to scramble back from that.
And what pitches have you been seeing from the other team that we should be hitting on that we aren't?
Well, I mean, they bring in, they don't play tomorrow, so they're bringing their whole staff in. So they brought a lefty that threw 9 curveballs in a row. So, and then they bring in a guy who throws fastballs, and they pitch backwards. Their coach calls all the pitches. So you can't sit for a fastball. You can't sit dead red in those counts because he's throwing curveballs and sliders and everything else. So they really keep the hitters off balance. So we're going to have to figure it out here. We're running out of time.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. You hear from her and the head coach, Don Sneddon, there in a 5-4 ball game as we head to the top of the 8th inning. We do have a pitching change here from Spillane Field and is brought to you, as always, by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. So get to the point. It's going to be Tyler Kaiser who will come in for the Gatemen. He has become a guy who is a stopper for them, a guy who's heading to the University of Miami next year, transferring from Eastern Florida State. He's 0-2 on the year. He's roughed up his last time out, which bumped up his ERA to 6.23 in his 4 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 3 earned runs in that span and struck out 8. All of his 3 runs came in his last outing, which came via the 3-run homer in the second game of the doubleheader against these YD Red Sox. Reese Albert was the one who left the yard. It gave the Red Sox the lead and eventually the victory. on that day to split the doubleheader. Christian Koss will step in from the right side and will take the first pitch up high into the backstop. 4-1, 1-0.
Kaiser used to the high leverage situations here. And like you said, he got roughed up a week ago in his last outing against these YD Red Sox. Swing and a miss on that one, though. But he's a power pitcher in every sense of the word. Had 5 strikeouts through 2 innings of work and bumped that to 8 in 4. Now, for those of you that don't know, that is quite a good clip. But Kaiser trying to right the ship. As he throws it hard, but well located, that's fine. If you miss with it, all you got to do is put a good swing on it like Reese Albert did to start off that tear that he went on, all those multi-hit games. He started that against Kaiser.
2-1 is now the count. Kaiser's 2-1 home is going to be bounced on the ground to short. Moving to his left is Kreidler. A high throw over to first, but staying on the bag is Lyle Lockhart. And it's a 6-3 put out to get things started here in the top of the 8th inning for the Red Sox. And due up for the Gatemen in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Isaac Collins is the first man due up, the right fielder. And if you'll recall, earlier today, he was the one who filled in for Bryant Packard, who was a late scratch in the lineup. And I mention that because as we look past the Gateman dugout, Bryant Packard is swinging a bat, getting himself warm. So don't know if maybe he's just a little bored or if he might come into this game. It's a crucial at bat, a 1-run ball game. It would be easy for them to switch him to left after batting for Collins and sending Idens to that spot. Quickly down 0-2 is Kerner, the catcher. Came in for Vito Frischia after Andrew Martinez pinch hit for the starting catcher. Time is called and he'll step out with nobody aboard and 1 gone in the 8th inning. This one's going to be fouled straight back. So it stands at 0-2.
Kerner batting an even .250 on the year. Was the everyday catcher before Frischia showed up from Hofstra. Since then has been splitting time with him. Hitless in the win against Cotuit yesterday, but 2 for 5 in a contest, a 3-2 win against Harwich. Like you said, a pivotal one that vaulted them ahead of the Mariners in the standings.
Kaiser comes home, the 0-2. It's going to be reached out and poked down that left field line, but it will get out of play. Idens is unable to catch up with it. And so the count will stay at 0-2 to the new YD catcher. This one's going to be popped up left field line. Idens is on his horse. It's a long run over there for him. And he's going to dive and make a tremendous catch in foul ground. Idens diving in front of him in a backhanded shoestring catch to keep it off the grass. And a beautiful out number 2.
That was one of the better catches you're going to see all year. His teammates helping him out, yelling in, then got room all the way. Idens trusted it. And he actually overshot it a tiny bit as he had to backhand that from his left hand. And kind of, if you're not careful, you could twist your ankle on that as the top of your mitt gets caught in the grass. But clearly he's okay. And now 2 outs, bases empty here for the top of the order.
And representing the top of that order is David Hamilton, and he will take the first pitch for a strike. 0 for 4 is Hamilton today. A couple of flyouts, a couple of groundouts to first base. And he's behind in the count 0-2 after a lazy swing and a pitch on the outside corner. He's unable to connect with it. With 2 out and nobody on, it's 0-2. Working quickly, here's Kaiser's 0-2. It's going to miss down low for ball 1. Not too far off the plate, but not chasing after it is Hamilton.
Got the glove point of approval from Drew Millis behind the plate.
1-2 is going to miss up high. Pops out of the glove of Millis. That even things at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Hamilton, who's not only 0 for 4 today, but 0 for 8 in his 2 games as a Red Sox, still looking for his first Cape League hit. He's going to get it right there. It's going to be grounded into right field for a base hit. A 2-out, 2-strike single from David Hamilton keeps the inning alive. And we'll bring it up for Noah Campbell with 2 out. Now a man on first for the Red Sox. Is that the announcer's jinx, Enrique? Does that qualify?
Yeah, commentator's curse. I think so. Yeah, you call it that. But good for him, though. Yeah, busting out of that the big 0 for 8 to start off his Cape League career. Now he's aboard. Red Sox trying to add insurance here in the 8th inning.
Do a good turn, Daly. That was mine for David Hamilton.
Oh, boy.
Helping out a rival. Just pay it forward, David. Don't pay it back. Pickoff throw over is blocked by Lockhart. Keeps it in front of him. And keeps Hamilton in front of him at first base. Got to check on him over at first again. And getting back in there, standing up, is Hamilton. Millis going to have a snap throw down as well. So they're keeping a real keen eye on David Hamilton, who's leading off of first base with 2 outs and a 1-0 count. He did steal 31 bases for the Longhorns on the year, 31 for 38, so probably a good idea to keep an eye on him over there at first. First time getting aboard with a hit all year. Got to think he might want to go, and he is. He gets a good jump on it, but Millis' throw down is close, but it will get by Kreidler and into center field, and Hamilton, without hesitation, will trot into third base. And that's the kind of havoc he can wreak on the base paths, and he does it right away. A couple of pickoff throws can't hold him, and he gets to third on the botched stolen base attempt. Excuse me, a throw attempt by Drew Millis on the stolen base.
1 strike away, and now so close to scoring the 6th YD run of the day. And like you said, I think it was important with no hesitation. He saw that throw get in there, and he knows, now I am fast enough to make them pay for this, and make them pay he does.
And now Noah Campbell's going to shoot this one out to the gap in right center field, and that insurance run is going to come home easily. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Campbell takes a big turn around second. He's going in for third, and he's going to slide into third with a triple. Noah Campbell comes through with 2 outs in the inning. He triples home David Hamilton, who is already at third base, and it's a crucial 6th run for the Red Sox. It's 6-4 YD over Wareham.
And Kaiser was cruising through the bottom of the order, but David Hamilton put together a heck of an at-bat and 1 out just by being aggressive, forcing the issue on the defensive side of things, on the base running side of things for the Wareham defense.
This one's going to be sent out towards the same spot by Dashbach, but this one's holding up, and Isaac Collins will track it down for the out that retires the side. But a crucial insurance run comes home. It's now a 2-run lead for the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 8th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Established in 1877, TM Ryder is a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Ryder's goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
On to the bottom of the 8th we go. It's now a 2-run deficit for the Gatemen. And it is the largest they have faced today. It's the second inning of work for Ryan Nelson. And Isaac Collins, who we speculated his spot might be occupied by Bryant Packard in this inning as he was warming up. And Packard seemed confident he was going to go into the game, but it will be Isaac Collins who will step in after making his first putout in right field. In the 17 innings he played out there defensively, finally gets the first ball hit to him. He comes in, he's 0 for 2 today, but reached on a hit by pitch on the bunt attempt back in the 4th that loaded the bases. And we'll come in to lead things off in the 8th with the Gatemen trailing 2. First pitch going to be in there for a called strike. 0-1 is the count. Skylar Hunter on deck. Jeremy Idens due up third, representing the top of the Wareham order. Collins with 2 hits yesterday in the same inning, that 9-run third that propelled the Gatemen to the 17-4 victory, and Ryan Nelson is not on the same page with his battery mate Adam Kerner, a couple of guys who did not start the game for the Red Sox. Kerner coming in as a defensive replacement a few innings ago, and as I mentioned, the second inning of work for Ryan Nelson on the mound. To Collins is going to run inside past the back foot and will miss for a ball and a strike to the Wareham right fielder from Creighton. Collins hitting .261 on the year in the time that he has been able to find his way into the Gateman lineup. He's going to ground this one to Koss at second base, and it is a routine 4-3 putout, and the first man is retired in the Gateman half of the 8th inning.
Gateman running out of time here in the 9th inning. What'll probably come up is the heart of that order, and Bryant Packard, like you said, might get that pinch hit appearance. I think that would come in clutch, but Skylar Hunter trying to break an 0 for 3 pair of strikeouts for him. It's been the strikeouts that's been concerning for Skylar Hunter. Occasionally he hits the ball hard, but otherwise he just waves right through stuff.
Talked about the strikeouts for Hunter. He leads the team. Coming in today with 18, now with 20. Second on there is Bryant Packard with 17, although he's obviously produced a lot more at the plate. As this big curveball comes in and drops in front of the plate. And Hunter finds himself in a hitter's count, though. 2 balls and no strikes. Chance to do some damage here. Big hole up the middle for him if he can shoot it back where it came from. 2-0, cut on and missed. A breaking pitch on the outside corner. That has been kryptonite for Hunter most of this season.
Every single game in the Cape League today ending in 1-run fashion. 2 home wins, 2 away wins as well.
See if the Gatemen can make it a 1-run deficit. Down 2 right now, and Skylar Hunter finds himself down 2 strikes and also up 2 balls. It's an even count with 1 out, nobody on.
Hyannis disposed of Harwich, so they creep back within 1 point to the Gatemen. With a win today, Gatemen could stretch that lead back to 3 points, but should the results hold, they'll still be in first place, but only by a point.
Still some work to do. The 2-2 is going to be skied out towards shallow left field, and it's Hamilton, the shortstop, who moves back on it into shallow left and will make the catch for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down in front of Jeremy Idens.
Ryan Nelson chugging along nicely here. A strikeout, but a lot of well-located pitches as well. A lot of weak contact. Kreidler got a hold of one, but that was the only hard-hit ball off Nelson today. It's unfortunate, ended up doubling up the Gatemen as Lyle Lockhart Jr. took off on the pitch. Series of unfortunate events put the Gatemen scoreless in the 7th, trying to do something here with 2 outs in the 8th.
First pitch to Idens is going to miss up high for ball 1. And 7 through 9 in the Gatemen order today has only reached base twice. A hit by pitch for Isaac Collins and the RBI single by Ryan Kreidler back in the 4th. And by himself, Idens has got on base 3 times at the top of the order. Swings through this high fastball. Evens things at 1-1. A slow move to the plate from Nelson, and the 1-1 is going to be rocketed a lot harder into left center field for a base hit. Idens took a big turn. He's committed himself to second. The throw has come through to be close, and he is going to get in there with a feet-first slide. And Christian Koss took the slide, looked like right on the back of the heel there. He was on top of the bag. Pretty surprised to see that he's all right after that.
Yeah, he had it straddled, but waiting, he was facing left center field, so Idens, he slid under his legs, and Christian Koss, he just did the best he could with it. Once he got the tag, just kind of put his glove down between his feet. But Idens slid pretty quick on that stone dust, just plowed right into him. I think it was safe by a hair, but a gutsy play by Idens puts him in scoring position here, and the hot-hitting Sahid Valenzuela up to bat.
You said it, 3 hits today for Valenzuela, a couple singles and a double, all in his last 3 times up. First pitch is in there for a strike. But Idens catching the outfield off guard there. It was kind of a lazy throw coming in that they had to just let go through. And it was still a close play at second base, but Idens is in there. He's in scoring position. It's an 0-1 count to the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela. And this one will miss to make it a ball and a strike to Valenzuela. One is going to be skied out towards right field, and this one is going to drop for a base hit. Coming around third and scoring is Jeremy Idens, so the aggressive base running pays off, and he'll come around to score on the Sahid Valenzuela single. It's now just 6-5 as the Gatemen get that run back that they lost in the top half of the 8th inning.
Now Austin Shenton, the batter, he will finally get to swing the bat for the first time since the 3rd inning. I already missed him. That sweet 400-plus stroke from FIU. He's got a little something to work with here. Valenzuela has some speed. Not base-stealing speed. Didn't do a ton of it at Cal State Fullerton, weirdly enough. But the lobster claw out there on the left hand as Shenton takes 1-0. Would not be surprised if they tried to push the envelope here and get one into scoring position for Shenton.
The aggressive base running has already paid off this inning. And with that lobster claw on, that usually means business if you're a base runner at first. 1-0, a bit of a hop, but nothing doing for Valenzuela. And this one's going to be grounded to second, and on to first. Shenton will be the final out of the inning. We head to the top of the 9th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The Gatemen have cut into the lead, but it's still 6-5 Red Sox.
Shop from home year-round on Gateman.org. You can customize your Gateman gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gateman.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
As we prepare for the top of the 9th inning, it's still Tyler Kaiser out there for the Gatemen. He surrendered that insurance run that is the difference in the game right now. So the Gatemen got one in the bottom of the 8th, would have tied things up at 5. Instead, 6-5. YD is ahead of Wareham. It's 4, 5, and 6 due up. Quinn Cotton, Reese Albert, and Johnny DeLuca expected for the Red Sox. How we got there in that inning, David Hamilton singled in the 8th inning with 2 outs and stole second. The throw got away on a Drew Millis error, his second of the game, and the third on the night for the Gatemen. So Hamilton was able to get over to third, and then a triple by Noah Campbell brought him in easily to take that 6-4 lead, and it's 6-5 where we stand, and it's Quinn Cotton standing at the plate to lead things off here in the 9th. First offering to him is going to be bounced right back at Kaiser. Fumbles it at first, but will get it over to first. 4 out number 1, a bit of a scare, but he does retire Cotton to start things off in the 9th.
A bit of a scare considering Quinn Cotton could have done much more damage to that baseball. So he'll take that little nubber off the end of the bat. Now Reese Albert, the batter, 1 for 4 today. But at any given moment, the freshman from Florida State could put a charge into a baseball, send this one right back to a 2-run deficit.
This one going to miss up high. 4-1, 1-0 to Reese Albert, who sacrificed his last time up. Has a single today and has reached on an error. Also has a strikeout. So this one's going to clip the outside corner for a called strike. Evens things at 1-1 with 1 out and nobody aboard in the 9th inning. 1-1 misses outside. Albert head of the count, 2 balls and a strike. For Albert this year, hitting .407 for the Red Sox out of Florida State. Going to go down after tonight, but certainly a stellar start for him. Also has a homer and 6 RBI. Gets on base half the times he's at the plate. 500 OBP. 3-1 is a high fastball that he cuts on and misses at, so misses a chance to get on base as well. Probably would have been ball 4, and instead we've got a full count at 3-2. Full count offering is going to be rocketed out of play over to the left. Look out down there.
Almost took some heads off. Man, oh man. Some of the Red Sox faithful up there in the bleachers jokingly throwing their hands up.
And this one is going to miss them by a little bit more, but will nonetheless be a foul ball off to the left, so he stays in there at 3-2. Here's that full count offering again. And he does find himself getting on base for the 3rd time today, as this one misses outside for ball 4. A 1-out walk to Reese Albert as a base runner on here in the top of the 9th inning for YD.
Bottom of the order has been productive today. Actually they've done the run producing. The top of the order has scored everything. Noah Campbell, Andrew Dashbach, and Quinn Cotton in the 2-3-4 scored 5 runs between the 3 of them. Nick Quintana, 2 RBIs. Reese Albert, 2 RBIs. Johnny DeLuca, an RBI as well. So not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination are Tyler Kaiser and the Gatemen.
Trying to keep this at a 1-run deficit for the heart of the order expected for the Gatemen in the bottom of the 9th. 4, 5, 6. As it stands right now, it would be Millis, Lockhart, and Parks. Subject to change. You got your biggest and best bat going right now on the bench. Bryant Packard with the late scratch today from the Gatemen lineup. This one's going to be grounded towards short. Kreidler cannot hold on to it for the double play, and he's going to get no play. He was focused on going to second, but fumbles it to go there, and then the throw on to first is too late. so it could have ended the inning. Now puts 2 men on base with just 1 out for the Red Sox.
Yeah, that one is going to sting should these runs come across the score. 4th error of the day for Wareham. This is a team that came into today, we've talked about it all day, as the best defense in the Cape Cod League. Now, thankfully, they've put up such good numbers defensively that even with 4 errors, they will still be, statistically speaking, the best team in the Cape Cod League. But man, oh man, this one hurts.
So now with 1 out, there are runners on first and second. This one's in there for a strike to Luke Waddell, who came into the game as defensive replacement at third base for Nick Quintana. First at bat of the night for him. Oh, 1 pitch. He faked a bunt, if only for a moment, but pulls it back. And we'll take it up high for ball 1, 1-1. One pitch. Waddell is going to put a defensive swing on it and foul it off himself. So that'll put the count at 1-2 for Kaiser to work with. Close the book on Quintana today. Only registered 1 official at bat. A walk in the 2nd, sacrifice flies in the 4th and the 5th. And then it ground out to Austin Shenton at third base back in the 7th. 1-2, reaching out just to stay alive at the plate. He fouls it back towards the YD dugout. Sticks things at 1-2. Kaiser looks back at second, brings home the 1-2, jams him, and it's going to be popped up. It's going to be the infield fly rule in effect, and Lyle Lockhart will grab it down for good measure on the automatic out on the infield fly, and it's the 2nd out of this top of the 9th inning.
It's a big one there. Now Christian Costa, the batter, 0 for 4, but pretty good hitter in his own right. Had himself a pretty good day against these Gatemen last time these two teams played. Waddell retired. Gatemen trying to get out of this one. Become walk-off winners for the 3rd time at home in this short first half of the season so far. 8-1 at Spillane this year are the Gatemen.
You talk about those 3 walk-off wins, as this one's going to be grounded towards third. Shenton does well enough to keep it out of the outfield. On a dive, he knocks it down, but reaching at first base is Koss with what will probably be a hit. And we'll load things up with 2 outs in the 9th. And to finish that thought, you talk about the 2 walk-off wins this year. The Gatemen looking for a 3rd. We've been speculating about this for a couple innings now, but I'm sure you know who has both walk-offs for the Gatemen this year.
I do, yes. Now that I thought, well, actually, not both of them.
Sure does. Bryant Packard.
Okay, then there are 3 walk-offs at home then.
Then the Austin Shenton. We both forgot about that.
Yep, we both forgot about Big Austin.
We make mistakes too.
But yes, Packard does have 2.
Packard's got 67% of the Gatemen walk-off wins this year. And Shenton made the last out of the last inning.
Yep.
I'm just going to eliminate him from the equation. It will not come down to a walk-off situation for him in the 9th.
No.
I can say that with absolute certainty, as the first pitch is swung on and missed by Kerner. There are some things I can say with certainty here. Just enough to do a scorecard and pen. Oh, 1 going to be reached out. Here's a play for Shenton as he comes in on the infield grass and will fire over to first base for out number 3. So Kaiser leaves him loaded in the 9th. It's just a 1-run deficit for the Gatemen as we head to the bottom of the half. 6-5 Red Sox here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails. Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority.
Ryan Nelson back out there for the 9th inning, and out there for the Gatemen is due up Andrew Millis and Lyle Lockhart and Paven Parks, 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Trailing by 1 in the bottom half, Gatemen looking for their 4th walk-off win of the year. 2 coming via Brian Packard, and 1 the walk-off homer by Austin Shenton, the front end of a doubleheader against Orleans on Father's Day. Packard in his number 6 jersey is gone back to his post today, just beyond the Gateman dugout, to stretch and take some practice swings. So let's see if we see their leader in RBI and home runs, with the absence of Andrew Vaughn, come to the plate at some point this inning.
This Brian Packard pinch hit things almost feels like LeBron to LA.
I was just thinking
everyone knows it's going to happen, and we're just kind of waiting, right? You see him over there, you see him stretching, you see LeBron, his family's already in LA, you see him flying the jet out to LA.
It's like years in the making.
Years in the making.
These last innings have been years that we've been anticipating this. As of right now, it's Millis at the plate, it's Lockhart on deck. 6-5 our score. The first offering to Millis. He holds back and the pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Nelson did allow a run in the last inning. That came via a RBI single from Zahid Valenzuela after the Jeremy Idens double, but was able to keep Valenzuela stranded as he got the dangerous Austin Shenton to ground out to end the inning. 1-0, miss up, letter high. 2-0 now the count to the Gateman catcher. Nelson's 2-0 home. Bell tying in there for a called strike to put one on Drew Millis, 2-1.
0 for 4 today, done it just about every way. Double play, fielder's choice, strikeout, reached on an error. Eventful day, but at the same time, not an eventful day at the plate for Drew Millis.
Certainly frustrating for him as he looks to get going. No better time than the present as he slaps one down the left field line, put a pretty good swing on it, but it's going to loop foul and will run the count to 2-2.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back. Straighten that out. It's a runner in scoring position for Lyle Lockhart. You like the sound of that. Lockhart 1 for 3 with a run scored. He waits on deck.
Nobody on. First hitter of the inning for the Gatemen has himself in a 2-2 count. He's going to waste this pitch off behind us and out of play, so he stays in there at 2-2.
Way to foul it off. You love to see it. Keep the at-bat alive. Drive up the pitch count on Nelson. He's already at 26 coming into the inning. 32 coming up today.
There is, looks like some action in the Gateman bullpen. You can't always tell for sure because those guys are throwing a football down there all the time. So we do have to wait a minute and make sure they are throwing baseballs down beyond the right field fence. Curveball is fought off by Millis. He fouls it down the right field line. First play of the day for Bryant Packard as he trots down to get it. And he's staying alive there, better than the Bee Gees at 2-2.
That was rough. But honestly, I think I'm just upset that I've used the term "staying alive" with the at-bats about 1,000 times this year. We're 20 games into the season. It's unacceptable for me not to make a Bee Gees joke at this point. And lo and behold, again, you beat me to it.
Millis going to send this one out to the right center field gap, but this will hold up. And he will be the first out of the 9th inning. You know what, Enrique? You say you like the pop culture references. Pop culture giveth, it taketh away.
It does. It's a cruel mistress.
I think it's fared well for us overall this year.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
We keep coming back.
Just enough. It's like Antoine Walker's three-pointers. Hits just enough to keep taking them. Hit on just enough of these, and we'll keep going. Lyle Lockhart hasn't hit on much today after he got on base 5 times yesterday. Just the single and a walk. Gives him a 1 for 3. This pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1, 0-1 to the Gatemen first baseman. Lockhart going to take this one low, and catcher Kerner will let it go to the backstop. And we'll even things up at a ball and a strike to Lockhart.
Wrapping it up around the Cape. Cotuit extra inning winners against Chatham 4-3. Hyannis, like I said, beating Harwich 2-1. Brewster over Falmouth 5-4 in Falmouth. Orleans at home taking down Bourne 7-6. Bourne tomorrow's opponent for these Wareham Gatemen.
This one going to run up letter high and inside to Lockhart. So he is ahead of the count 2-1. As Henrique just mentioned, Bourne in tomorrow to Spillane to play the Gatemen, and then Wareham will travel out to Cotuit for the first time on Tuesday to face the Kettleers. This one looked a bit inside to Lockhart, and he's surprised to take it for a called strike 2. Stephen Parks stands on deck. Sorry.
So I was going to say, same corner of the plate, outside to righties and inside to lefties, I guess. I guess that's consistency.
It's been there. That one looked a bit more inside.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's that corner. It's been there all night. And because of that, Lockhart has to be jammed on this one and fouled it off himself.
Oh, boy.
Much to the chagrin of the YD Red Sox and their traveling fans. And this is going to bring out an argument once again.
Scott Pickler is not happy.
The home plate umpire is going to walk away.
Well, now he's telling him to cool down. You can see the right hand saying that is not a explanatory. That is a placative gesture.
Enough mutual respect. Both parties walk away. Scott Pickler stays in the game. And his team leading 6-5. We've seen a manager thrown out this year at Spillane, Chad Gassman of Hyannis a couple weeks ago. And we can confirm there's a baseball being thrown down in the Gateman bullpen. Looks like Ryan Stoudemire might be the man. This one's going to be fouled straight back for Lyle Lockhart. But the offense will have to do their job if they're going to bring in another pitcher. So they're trailing 6-5 here in the 9th inning, but Lockhart putting together a nice little at-bat with 1 out, nobody on.
Yeah, Lockhart does this really well, but how big was that call? I mean, Lockhart stays alive. That would have been a routine play for either Dashbach at first or Nelson at the bump. Would have been 2 outs, bases empty, but Gateman's still alive here.
2-2. Tough pitch to take with 2 strikes, but Lockhart does just that, and it misses a bit outside, and that count runs full now, 3-2. So everything, if Lyle Lockhart's able to get on at any point, or any way, I should say, that becomes crucial to how the Red Sox think about this after thinking they had him retired in this at-bat. 3-2, spoiled once again off to the left and out of play. Really making Nelson work with one out in the frame.
As Nelson gets more and more tired, Gateman might have a better opportunity to jump on some mistakes here from the right-hander from Oregon. Already a season high in innings for him in this outing.
Three-two home, gonna miss inside, so they thought they had him down and out, but Lyle Lockhart will trot down to first base with a one-out walk representing the tying run as Pavin Parks steps up to the plate and grabbing a bat in the on-deck circle. Not Bryant Packard, it's Oliver Dunn who has stepped out there. But right now it's Pavin Parks. If Dunn were to come on to hit, it would be in Ryan Kreidler's spot. But no guarantee that spot comes up this inning, as there is a double play in order and one out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. First pitch to Parks going to be popped up behind second base. Koss is settled under it, and he makes the catch. One pitch, one out on the at-bat for Parks. And there's two gone, and Oliver Dunn will stride up there as the last chance for the Wareham Gatemen tonight.
I mean, I guess from a scorecard standpoint, this is a logistically easier switch as Dunn is a middle infielder, so if this game does go into extras, might sub in just 1-for-1 for Kreidler. But I'll admit, I'm surprised that that is the substitution as opposed to Brian Packard.
Got a couple
power
of
bat. Yeah, power bat with one swing of the bat to tie it up.
You've got a couple of infielders to put in, like Dunn, and also Isaac Collins. If you put Bryant Packard in left, shift the guy to right, and Collins into the infield. But they're rolling with Dunn is Don Snedden, and he's ahead of the count 1-0.
Dunn batting 100 on the year. Is there a name for that line below the Mendoza line?
He hopes that doesn't become his namesake.
Yeah.
He's going to get above it. He's hit in college, so it should come at some point.
Yeah, no, he had really good numbers at Utah this year.
He's ahead of the count 2-0, so he's in a pretty good position right now. And he's got a big hole on his pull side, the right side of the infield. (2-0), ramps up high, 3-0 to Oliver Dunn. Isaac Collins waits on deck if Dunn is able to get on base here and keep this game alive.
And what a way to win this would be for the Gatemen. Two guys who have been in and out of the lineup, struggled to find playing time. Dunn and Collins could be the unlikely heroes for the Gatemen today. Lockhart's still only at first, so maybe a little bit of work to do on the bases as well.
3-0, taking all the way, catches the top of the strike zone. And will be in there for a called strike one with 2 outs in the ninth inning. The tying run at first base in the person of Lyle Lockhart. Starting and stopping is Lockhart, and this one's going to be popped up center field. This should do it. It's going to be the left fielder, Cotton, who takes it, and that is going to end the ball game. The Gatemen fight and claw within 1 run, but are unable to come back in this one today. They had a 4-2 lead at one point, but it becomes their first loss in 4 games. Still a hold on first place in the Western Division, but the Red Sox take this one 6-5 here at Spillane Field. Big day for Sahid Valenzuela, though. 4 for 5 with 3 RBI. We're going to have him as our player of the game in the Gatemen Postgame Show, which you can catch on YouTube and coming up in a few minutes. Thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Trevor Russo and Cam Gonzalez. Our sideline reporter is Mary Orders. Thanks to our beat writer Ian Vicera and today's WCTV broadcaster J.D. Rachi. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen host the Bourne Braves here at Spillane Field. The game starts at 6:30. Our coverage begins at 5:30 with Gatemen Pregame Live. For Enrique Demore, I'm Cameron Stewart. Thanks for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Once again, the Red Sox 6-5 victors over your Wareham Gatemen tonight. Thanks for listening in.